I have a city in the desert. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 551. You can ask. Speaking of aid, several young men looked at each other, and Song Weeping stood up and bowed to Jiang Chen and said, "We want a lot of things, but I don't know if you can agree to it. As long as it's for the people in the desert, just ask." These days, Jiang Chen doesn't care about anything that can be solved with money. After all, as long as the problem of Sac City can be solved, he can build their desert base more safely. First of all, we are going to need 5 million yuan as the activity fund for our youth league. In addition, when our organization develops to a certain extent, we need armed forces to overthrow the 3 major organizations. You must help us train a military team of no less than 2,000 people. Of course, we don't have money to buy equipment, so you have to help us with weapons and equipment. And after we overthrow the 3 major organizations, you have to help us develop the economy and agriculture of Sac City. At that time, you will help us provide seeds, so that our Sac City will also become an oasis. You also have to help our people get formal jobs. If they can't make money, they will sooner or later become a group of thugs. Song Weeping finished talking to a young man next to him, and Jiang Chen nodded. That's right. He can indeed provide 5 million yuan for activities. And when they develop to a certain population, Jiang Chen can also help train their military forces, provide them with equipment, and even provide them with military assistance when they go to war with the 3 major organizations. But what will Jiang Chen get in return after doing these things? No one in this world will ever do a business that loses money and breeds tigers, and the same is true for him, Jiang Chen. I can promise you all these, but what benefits will I get after I help you do these things? The United States supported the interim government in the past, and its purpose was to get oil in the desert, but Jiang Chen didn't lack oil at all. If you can help us overthrow the 3 armed warlords, can green our Sac City, and let our people live and work in peace, then we will voluntarily be loyal to you. Song Weeping's dream is to let all the people have enough food, let all the people wear warm clothes, and let all the people live well without selling their children. So as long as someone can help them achieve their goals, it doesn't matter who they are with. Of course, there is one more thing. You cannot destroy our faith and treat us as slaves. Otherwise, we will still resist to the end. Jiang Chen nodded after Song Weeping added, if Sac City can become a part of him, then Jiang Chen will have a way to deal with the other base personnel hiding in the desert. This is what Jiang Chen needs. Okay, I agree to all the conditions you mentioned. In addition, regarding your people, you have the right to self-government. At that time, the people of Saco City will enjoy the same treatment as the employees of our Sahara group. And as long as you take over Sac City, I will build factories there and engage in tourism. All of you ordinary people can pay for medical insurance in Sac City, go to Sahara Hospital for treatment when you are sick, and go to the school in the Sahara Scenic area to study. In the future, when you graduate, you can also work in any company of the Sahara group, and there will be absolutely no discrimination. That's great. If our people can also enjoy the treatment of employees of the Sahara Scenic area, then I will ensure that our residents can join us. But this matter is not just words. We still need to write it into legal documents. After Song Weeping finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Jiang Chen could do all these things, so he was not afraid, even if it was written into legal documents. Okay, if you agree, we can sign the document now. Then we have to find a middleman. Otherwise, if you regret it, what should we do? Jiang Chen's area and Sac City's area are both in the non-government area, and if we find a middleman, it is undoubtedly China. However, it is really hard to say whether the Chinese government is willing to guarantee you. Okay, then I have to discuss this matter with Lao Ma first. Now we have drafted local laws, but our legislative power has not been approved. If nothing unexpected happens, it will be approved in Beijing next month. Okay, then wait until next month to have the terms we want. It's just right that we can go back and discuss with some of our other civil peace organizations. Then we will write a unified document and hand it over to you. Song Weeping finished speaking, and Jiang Chen nodded in agreement. At noon, Jiang Chen invited Song Weeping and others to have a big meal at the Rose Manor Hotel. It was indeed a big meal. This meal directly cost nearly tens of thousands, and the 4 people also ate a lot of delicacies that they had never seen before. After the meeting, Jiang Chen paid them 1 million yuan as activity funds in advance, and the rest of the activity funds would be given to them in stages. The few people still had a long time to finish their meal, so Jiang Chen drove and took them to visit his scenic spot. This was the first time for the 4 young people to come to a world full of green plants. When they saw their beautiful roses and exquisite villas, they felt like they had come to heaven. What's more, there is endless water here. Every drop of water is so clear. Every drop of water is so sweet. This is a world they dare not dream of. Do all the tourists here come here with money? How much money can you make in such a large scenic spot in a day? The roads here are so well built, and the houses here are so well built. If our Sac City becomes independent, can you also help us build roads and houses? We can also build a scenic spot in Sac City. If we build a scenic spot after the liberation of our Sage City, will there be so many tourists? Several people seemed to be children who had just come to the city from the countryside. They wanted to ask about everything they saw. Indeed, they had never seen these things when they were in Sac City. There were few green things in Sac City, not to mention the clear, endless water, which was even more of a luxury. Jiang Chen answered every question they asked. When they heard that Jiang Chen's scenic spot could earn tens of millions or even hundreds of millions a day, they were all excited. If one day Sac City also built such a large scenic spot, and if they could also earn hundreds of millions a day, would their people still worry about not having enough food? Chapter 552. That is not a matter of 1 or 2 generations. When you go back, work hard. Once you liberate Sac City, I will spend at least 10 billion to build Sac City. I will build a road from the scenic area to Canny Valley, and then build a road from Canny Valley to Sac City. As long as the road is open, I can make your place a super scenic area. In the future, you will even build schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and even universities. Jiang Chen said as he took a group of people to the wooden house town and led them to visit several research institutes in the wooden house town. Not only that, Jiang Chen also led them to the grassland school. Then he led them to visit the branch campus built by Tsinghua University and Peking University in the grassland. Looking at the high-rise buildings under construction, the 4 young people were stunned. Can our children in Sac City really study here? This place is as beautiful as heaven. If we can let the descendants of Sac City also have books to read and work in the Sahara scenic area like a normal person, it will be worth it, even if it costs the lives of our generation. Faith. They have always been thinking about what faith is and what they should believe in. Is faith really more important than life? Is faith really more important than the future of all Sac City? Don't worry, your children can come here to study. Not only can you study at the Grassland College, you can also study at the Jiatang University and the Mechanical University. No, our children's education foundation is so weak, and even there are only a few people who can read in our area. They can't compete with these children in the scenic area at all. Song Weeping couldn't help but smile bitterly after he finished speaking. The inferior people are the inferior people. 1 or 2 generations, or even 3 or 4 generations, can't catch up to the level of the grassland scenic area. Don't worry, as long as you join me, I will never let you continue to be poor. To be rich, you need knowledge. I'm not like the United States. They come here every day to fight a war under the slogan of democracy. Then they pat their butts and leave after the war. They never think about developing you or building you. But I'm different. I will let all the people there live a good life. You mean our children can also go to school here? Why not? After you are liberated, I will let Tsinghua University and Peking University give you 2 to 3 places in each major. No matter how many points your children can get in the exam, they can go to school in Tsinghua University and Peking University. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Guan Ku added, if you can liberate Sac City, I will guarantee to build a school there. In this way, every child in it can go to school. If your children are older and not suitable for studying, I can also give them places and let them go to the scenic area to study in technical secondary schools. After Guan Ku finished speaking, Song Weeping was so excited that he didn't know what to say. Indeed, the United States used the slogan of democracy to support their anti-government armed forces. As a result, after the new government came to power, the national conflicts were still not resolved. Instead, due to the continuous wars, their homes turned into a desert. But now that Jiang Chen is willing to help them, their nation will really be saved. Even if they cannot achieve prosperity in this generation, as long as they work hard. If one generation doesn't work, then 2 or 3 generations will do, and sooner or later their nation will develop. Really? This should also be written into the law. I want to thank you on behalf of all the people in Sako City. Song Weeping bowed to Guan Ku after he finished speaking, and Guan Ku helped him up. Okay, write everything into the law, and let China be your witness. Jiang Chen took them to the grassland to eat roasted locusts. A group of people lived in the grassland scenic area, and they slept soundly on the grass. When they were in Sako City, there would be disturbing artillery sounds every day, and they never dared to fall asleep. Because they were afraid that they would be shot to death, or killed by bombs, when they fell asleep, so they lived in fear every day. After a rare good sleep, several people woke up, and it was already noon the next day. At noon, Jiang Chen asked them to go to the ancient capital scenic area. The ancient capital scenic area is a culture left by their ancestors. When they saw the royal city left by their ancestors, the 4 passionate young people burst into tears. Their ancestors created such a brilliant culture, but now their descendants live in the desert worse than a mouse. How can people not cry? I really hope that one day all of us can see this palace. I really hope that all the people in Sac City can cheer up and build and develop their hometown. Sooner or later, we will be as great as our ancestors. After Song Weeping finished speaking, his eyes flashed with a different light. This light also had loss and sadness, but also hope and determination. In the future, the people of Sac City can visit the ancient capital scenic area for free with their ID cards. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the 4 young people were so excited that they didn't know what to say. Most of the people who stayed in Sac City were descendants of the Salmon dynasty, so it was really normal for them to visit the things left by their ancestors for free. Thank you. I will definitely bring this news to our people. I believe that, when they know this news, they will cheer up again. They will definitely raise the banner of resistance and let those warlords never ravage us again. Let our civilization continue to shine. After Song Weeping finished speaking, Jiang Chen also nodded at him. He believed in these 4 young people, because young people can always create miracles. It was already a week later, when Song Weeping and others left. During this week, Jiang Chen led them to visit the factory in the bonded area. Moreover, Jiang Chen promised them that, as long as Sac City was liberated, the people of Sac City would have ID cards issued by the scenic area. At that time, they could use their ID cards to go to work in all the factories in the bonded area and development zone, and even Jiang Chen would fight for more rights for them. In the future, their people could even live in the cities of China with their ID cards. After getting Jiang Chen's promise, several people became more motivated. They were like chicken blood, and they would go back to Sako City, no matter how Jiang Chen tried to keep them. In front of the future of the nation, they couldn't wait a moment. Jiang Chen had no choice but to send them to Canny Valley, and then send them a car, and they drove to Sac City. After sending off the youth representatives of Sac City, Jiang Chen called Guan Ku and Chen Jianzhao and other key leaders. They began to hold a meeting to discuss how to legislate for Sac City. After all, their legislative documents have been sent to Beijing, and it will take more than 10 days for Beijing to review them. It was just right to write the situation of Sac City into the law while the review was not yet completed, and then report it again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 553, It was like a light in the dark night. Regarding the legislative power of the Sahara scenic area, to put it bluntly, this has no practical significance at all. These are just for show. After all, Jiang Chen's place is a non-administered area. The United States has a clear provision in the non-administered area that no country or individual may establish relevant bases and organizations in the non-administered area. So as long as Jiang Chen reports his local laws, the capital will definitely approve them. Of course, what you report cannot be too outrageous. After all, Jiang Chen's scenic area will eventually serve Chinese tourists. Brother Jiang, I think we should write in Article 1 that all ethnic groups in the desert have equal rights. There are countless ethnic minorities in Central Asia, and this law applies to every ethnic group in the desert. After Guan Ku finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. That's right. Now that the entire Central Asia is covered by the desert, it's not that there are no living people. There are still many Central Asian people living in the gullies of the desert. Since Jiang Chen has already reported his determination to fight the Sahara Desert to the end, those who are hiding in the desert should all be his friends and comrades. Write this down. Oh, and add one more sentence. No one can slander or bully those ethnic minorities. Otherwise, he will be charged with destroying ethnic harmony. Okay, as long as we can win over the people of Sac City, even if our place is discovered by the United States one day, they can't find a reason to attack us. Because our place originally belongs to the people of Sac City, and now the people of Sac City are one with us, which means that this place should belong to us, and the people of Sac City. Guan Ku thought of all the benefits he could think of, which is why he agreed to spend tens of billions to build Sac City. Jiang Chen and others were discussing the legislation of Sac City in the scenic area, while Song Weeping and others took the money and quickly returned to Sac City. At this time, Sac City was still in the midst of war. Malacca Bay and Muris, the largest armed forces in Sac City, had already reached the white-hot stage in Sac City. The war was burning in Sac City every day, and several trucks of dead bodies were pulled out every day. Once the battle started, it seemed that there was no sign of stopping at all. When Song Weeping returned to the Mora district of Sac City, he urgently convened a meeting with his youth league members. At the meeting, Song Weeping shared everything he saw in the Sahara scenic area with the young people of Sac City. It was like a beam of light that instantly lit up the sky of the young people of Sac City. When the young people looked at the photos and the iPay that Jiang Chen gave to Song Weeping, everyone felt that the super scenic area with green grass and countless tourists was simply a paradise in the desert. Some people didn't believe it, so Song Weeping took out the photo of him, Jiang Chen and Guan Ku, and showed it to them. When some people didn't believe it, Song Weeping directly showed them his more than 1 million cash. Nowadays, there are a lot of cash in Sac City, and of course Huoyuan is the most used, so they can easily distinguish the authenticity of Huoyuan. Looking at the bright red banknotes, all the young people became excited. This group of young people living at the bottom of Sac City, where have they seen so much money? It is no different from people who only earn a few thousand yuan a month suddenly seeing hundreds of millions of cash. It is as shocking. These are all real money. With this money, how much food and clothes can we buy? There is no place to make money in Sac City. The people of Sac City basically help the warlords grow poppies. Now because of the arrival of the desert, the poppy harvest is very poor, so they earn very little money, especially in disaster years. Once there is no harvest at the end of the year, they have to pay a large amount of head tax, which forces them to sell their children to survive. These are just the first batch of funds. Let me tell you, as long as we can form a team of 3,000 people, we will have endless cash and equipment. Not only that, how can we go to the dream grassland for training? By then, all of you will have guns, uniforms, and cannons. You will have everything you want. Brothers, stand up. From today on, for the future of the entire Sac City, unite all the brothers and sisters around you who can unite. Tell them that coming to me means money, guns, and a future. You will also live a life like heaven. Song Weeping sent the photos in his iPad to all the brothers in the youth association to look at them. Every young man was excited, as if they had been injected with chicken blood. This kind of life of being slaughtered by others every day should also be over. These young people are basically people living in poverty-stricken areas. They are the people who suffer the most. Which of their brothers and sisters have not been sold to warlords as slaves? They have also tried to resist, but because they have no guns and no money, many of their uprisings have been suppressed. But this time is different. This time Song Weeping went to the Sahara scenic area to get money and weapons and equipment. Then as long as they can stand up again, even the three most powerful organizations will not be their opponents. Why should he help us? When a group of young people stood up like chicken blood, a young man in his 30s said something very different. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's eyes were focused on him. Why? Because he is the god of the desert. He was born to help each of us who live in the desert. That's right, he is the god of the desert sent by God, and he is here to save us. After Song Weeping finished speaking, several people who went to the grassland with him also emphasized it. We only have one God. He is not our God. When the winter storm came, and your parents were frozen outside, where was your God? When your sister was sold to Europe as a prostitute, where was your God? When your wife was raped by Morris, where was your God? Did he care about you? Song Weeping shouted at the young man, and the young man in his 30s lowered his head. The one who can really save us is our God. After Song Weeping finished speaking, the middle-aged man raised his head again, his eyes like torches. How do you know that he is the God sent by God to save us? Didn't the Americans say the same thing back then? What happened? Didn't they still let us fall into endless wars? Our leader is different from those people in the United States. Can Americans grow an oasis in the desert? Can Americans grow almonds in the desert? Do you know how many cancer patients have been saved by almonds? Do you know how many tens of thousands of people our leader saved during the winter storm? Chapter 554 Born to be Great. This is a discussion about faith. For hundreds of years, no one has dared to challenge their faith. But when they were forced by the desert to the point where they were worse than rats, what faith did they have? Huago can testify that, as long as we capture the entire Sac City, our leader will build a road to Sac City. By then, our place will become an oasis, and we will have rivers with endless water and bread. Even your children will have the opportunity to study in the scenic area. Have you seen a place to study? Do you know how wonderful the sound of reading is? Do you know how magnificent a university is? You don't know, but as long as you dare to fight with your life, then your children may squat in a bright classroom to study. That is the most wonderful knowledge. After Song Weeping finished speaking, even the young man was tempted. Unlimited water, endless bread, and books to read. Are these what the Americans can help us with? Do you know? Following the leader, all of us can go to China in the future. From now on, none of us will be rats in the desert anymore. Never be rats again. After a group of people shouted, Song Weeping waved his hand to quiet everyone down. When everyone was quiet, Song Weeping looked at them and said, "The era of hegemony is over." The leader said that now it is a world of law, and the law will guarantee fairness for each of us. All the power in our Sac City is written into the laws of the Sahara scenic area. In the future, your life will no longer be worthless. If someone kills you, then your son does not need to avenge you. The national law will naturally kill him to clear your name. Everything will return to the time before the desert arrived. Oh, no, it should be that everything will move towards an era that is far more civilized than before the desert arrived. After Song Weeping finished speaking, he himself wanted to shed his blood for the sake of change. Song Weeping succeeded, not for anything else, but for the photos in his iPod, for the wonderful world he described to everyone. Although this world is as ordinary as it can be for ordinary people, this is the case. Many people do not know how to cherish the happy years in front of them. What he does not know is that he is very ordinary, and it is the life that others dream of. Near the end, Song Weeping gave everyone money, and then gave everyone a mini iPad. He asked everyone to use this iPad to promote their future world. Song Weeping told everyone to tell all the young people around him that, as long as they joined them, they could live in such a place and work in such a factory. Everyone could earn 8 or 9,000 yuan a month. Nowadays, a construction worker in Yima district can get a salary of 400 or 500 yuan a day. Some people can even get 600 or 700 yuan a day, although this kind of work may be gone in 2 or 3 years. But in Sac City, those ordinary people who planted poppies for a year may not be able to get 3 or 5,000 yuan in the end. Even with these 3 or 5,000 yuan, they still have to pay taxes to the warlords, and after paying the taxes, they still have to provide food and drink for the family. So when these young people returned to their families, they took advantage of the gaps in the war to spread the benefits of joining the youth army to everyone they met. The people at the bottom became completely agitated. because of these people's propaganda, and this surging wave behind the scenes was soon discovered by the three major warlords in Sac City. The warlords found that the poor people were no longer willing to grow poppies with them and were unwilling to be enslaved by them, so they began to negotiate. After all, if they lost the people of Sac City, then they would definitely be greeted with death. So in less than half a month, the armed struggle in Sac City was suspended. After the ceasefire, the three major armed forces began to launch a bloodbath against young people at all levels. This suppression lasted for 10 days, and nearly 3,000 people in the youth army were slaughtered in 10 days. The bones of more than 3,000 people were piled up into a wall, which was shown to other young people who attempted to join the youth army every day. But this did not affect the young people who yearned for reform and a new life. The number of Sac City Youth Army was still growing rapidly. In less than a month, the number of Sac City Youth Army reached more than 6,000. The three armed forces of Sac City persecuted the youth army more and more. Even if someone in the family joined the youth army, the whole family would be executed. So the families of those who joined the youth army were soon uprooted one by one. In August, the desert also ushered in its summer. When the desert became hot, the bodies of the youth army, which were piled up like a city wall, were full of flies due to the high temperature. Because of the continuous spread of flies and viruses, a plague seemed to be about to break out in Sac City. In August, the videos of the youth army began to prevail in the army. The youth army who were captured in the prison kept promoting the benefits of joining the Sahara youth army to the soldiers guarding them. They kept showing them photos of the Sahara scenic area, and they told them that, as long as they gave up the warlords and joined them, they could turn Sac City into another paradise. This ideological revolution really spread like a plague in every corner of Sac City. Those people who were unwilling to live like rats took up the weapons of armed struggle. In mid-August, Song Weeping led a team of more than 4,000 young people to the Canny Valley. They originally planned a peace movement, and they wanted to use peaceful means to make the soldiers who joined the three major warlords surrender. But the facts proved that their movement failed, so they had to take another path of armed resistance. When Song Weeping brought more than 4,000 people to the Canny Valley, Wang Liping, who was stationed in the Canny Valley, helped to call Jiang Chen. After Jiang Chen heard that the youth circle formed by Song Weeping suffered heavy losses in Sac City, he hurriedly drove towards the Canny Valley. When he arrived at the Canny Valley, Wang Liping had already arranged a new barracks for the Sac City Youth Army. He also issued a brand new military uniform to each of these people. Sac, who had not worn new clothes for many years, was excited and cried one by one. Jiang Chen saw Song Weeping again, and he was no longer the Song Weeping who looked innocent on the outside. At this moment, his face was even more stern, and he exuded the charm of a leader. This is the unique spirit of people who have experienced life and death and suffering. Leader, I have brought the youth army with me. They are all willing to sacrifice their lives for the future of Sac City. I ask the leader to train them, equip them, make them stronger, and then return to Sac City and return to the people. Chapter 555, No Peace Ever. At the Valley Operation Command, Song Weeping gave Jiang Chen a standard military salute. After he finished speaking, Jiang Chen asked Song Weeping about the situation of the youth army, and Song Weeping told Jiang Chen about the massacre of the youth army by the three warlords. Song Weeping also told Jiang Chen that the three warlords had formed all the bodies of the youth army into a human flesh wall, and took photos to show Jiang Chen. Seeing the bodies of young people arranged in a mess to form a wall, Jiang Chen was furious. These children should have a bright future. They should have married and had children. They should have worked in factories. They should have sat in classrooms to study. But now they can only. Captain Wang, immediately give them equipment and invite the best military commanders to train them. In addition, select those with leadership skills from among them and send them to the Sahara Military Academy for special training. And when they need aircraft, artillery, tanks and other firepower support, don't be stingy. Give me as many as you want. Since this battle has already started, it will never stop. If Jiang Chen does not lead the youth army to liberate the entire Sac City, then what awaits him is the eternal restlessness of the scenic area. Yes, Chief, Wang Liping said, and then he called the headquarters, and then applied for 100 heavy machine guns, 3,000 light machine guns, and mortars and other equipment. After the application, the Sahara Corps headquarters also quickly used a transport plane to airlift the equipment applied by Captain Wang to the Dream Grassland Air Force Airport. When all the equipment was transported to the Dream Grassland military base, the commander of the military base, Zhang Liming, used a large super truck to load all the equipment and rushed to the Canny Valley military base. When Zhang Liming transported the weapons and equipment of more than 4,000 people to the Canny Valley, it was already dark. Although it was dark, Song Weeping asked to start training immediately. Jiang Chen agreed, and he selected nearly 40 people who could speak Chinese, and took a truck to the Dream Grassland Air Force Base. Then he took a special plane to the Sahara Military Academy for a 20-day military command training. At night, the desert was extremely cold. Song Weeping personally joined the training of the youth army, and all the soldiers began physical training. They will undergo a 15-day devil training in Canny Valley. They will undergo physical training for the first 10 days, and shooting training for the last 5 days. After the devil training, they will have 5 days to conduct live fire exercises. After the live fire exercises, their military commander will also return from special training at the Sahara Military Academy. Then they will go to Sac City for real combat. No matter how much money we spend this time, we must completely eradicate this cancer of Sac City. Jiang Chen looked at the list of weapons and equipment in front of him, and he didn't feel bad at all. Although it cost him nearly 6 billion to equip these more than 4,000 people, plus the cost of special training. But compared to the entire Sac City, what is this 2 billion? Time passed quickly, and 10 days passed in a blink of an eye. On the 11th day of special training, the warlord forces in Sac City also realized the disappearance of the leader of the youth army, so they also specially sent a team of nearly 1,000 people to rush to Canny Valley. No one knew who leaked the news, but this group of people had already determined that Song Weeping and others must be hiding in the Canny Valley. In the morning when the soldiers from Sac City called, 3 bombers, under the cover of 5 fighters, flew towards the valley first. This batch of planes was obviously not the batch of planes from Morris. All of Morris's air force was defeated in the Canny Valley and Dream Grassland. So this time it was his allies who came. Brother Jiang, the bombers from Sac City are coming. Let the planes from Dream Grassland take off. There was no signal in the entire Sahara Desert. When the defense system of the Canny Valley captured the enemy planes, it proved that the enemy planes were not far away from them. At this moment, even if the planes took off from the Dream Grassland Air Force Base and rushed to the Canny Valley, these planes must have bombed the Canny Valley. This is the Canny Valley Command Center. Enemy planes are attacking. Please rush to the bunkers to hide. Please rush to the bunkers to hide. Jiang Chen pressed the red button in the command room after he finished speaking, and then the alarms in the entire Canny Valley sounded. As soon as the alarm sounded, the soldiers who were training outside hurried back to their respective camps and then hid in the air raid shelters. Hearing that the planes from Dream Grassland were coming, the specially trained Sac City young soldiers were excited to duel with the planes. Of course, Jiang Chen did not approve it. This is not an anti-Japanese drama. How can you fight against planes with a machine gun? Under Jiang Chen's order, the Sac City young soldiers were also arranged to hide in the air raid shelters. When everyone hid in the air raid shelters, the planes in the distance appeared in their sight. Are the missiles ready? Not yet. The air defense system we purchased is being assembled at the Sahara military base. Now the air defense system can only be used by the entire scenic area at most. Our Dream Grassland base and Canny Valley base will not be able to install the air defense system until next year. Then let their planes be arrogant in the sky. We have anti-aircraft guns and anti-aircraft guns. As long as they enter our range, we will fire. After Wang Liping finished speaking, Jiang Chen saw the signal coming from the screen in the command room. The 5 fighters had already appeared in front of them first. The fighters had just flown over the Canny Valley, and soon the Canny Valley fired rows of anti-aircraft guns. After the anti-aircraft guns hit the sky like a net, soon a plane that rushed over first was hit by the anti-aircraft guns. After the plane was hit, the tail of the plane fell towards the mountain with thick smoke. After hitting a fighter, other fighters also covered the bombers and arrived above the valley, and then the bombers began to bomb the Canny Valley. A bomber flew over the top of the valley and dropped bombs in the middle of the valley. After a series of roars, the originally flat road was instantly bombed into potholes. After the bomber flew over the valley, it did not find Song Weeping and others in the valley, so they flew towards the dream grassland again. In their plan, if Song Weeping and others were not hiding in the canny valley, then they must be hiding in the dream grassland. The commander of Sac City was most worried about Song Weeping. Now the youth army led by Song Weeping has spread throughout Sac City like a virus. If they cannot execute the culprit Song Weeping, then it is believed that it will not take long before this youth ideological revolution initiated by Song Weeping will disintegrate the three major armed forces of Sac City. Chapter 556. Overwhelming Advantage. The fighters flew from Canny Valley to Dream Grassland. They did not encounter any interception along the way. When the fighters were about to reach the middle of Canny Valley and Dream Grassland, 5 fighters suddenly flew in from a distance. These 5 fighters included 3 from Dream Grassland Military Base and 2 fighters from Canny Valley. They were all parked at Dream Grassland Air Force Base for maintenance. Okay, their Air Force is here. Everyone get ready for battle. After the commander-in-chief of the Sac City Air Force discovered the enemy plane, he shouted to the Sahara Air Force in the distance. The Sahara Air Force directly fired missiles at the Sac City Air Force on the opposite side. Now the entire Sac City Air Force is modernized fighters. Their missiles have tracking systems, and their fighters are all 4th generation fighters, which are superior to the Sac City Air Force in terms of speed, weapons, and equipment, and endurance. So after a round of accurate missile shooting, the Sac City Air Force was blown into a fireball by missiles before it flew next to the Sahara Air Force. After the front row of planes were blown up, the back row of planes hurriedly fired missiles at the Sac City fighters. As soon as the missile was launched, the Sac City Air Force stretched out and flew into the sky. What surprised them this time was that the missile did not follow. Let them dodge. Not every fighter plane in the Dream Grassland is equipped with tracking missiles. After all, there is no signal in the entire desert. Therefore, the missiles launched by these fighter planes equipped with aiming systems flying outside the oasis will not be launched because they are not aiming at the target. Fly over and play with him. Then a Dream Grassland space plane climbed up and followed. Not long after, there was a loud noise in the sky, and the Sac City fighter plane that was pulled up was shot down. The Sahara Air Force flying in the sky dived down again and directly strafed the Sac City fighter plane flying at a low altitude with machine guns. If something can be done with machine guns, they will not use missiles. Because a missile costs tens of thousands, you feel comfortable when you press it, but that is a pile of money. Money is one aspect. After all, Jiang Chen is not short of money, and the most important thing is that all these armaments are purchased from China. According to the United States regulations on non-administered areas, no national organization or arms company may sell weapons to organizations and individuals in the sub-administered areas. Therefore, China has restrictions on the things that Jiang Chen sells. Therefore, after you finish this wave, it is possible that when the enemy attacks again next time, you will not even have missiles. The plane swooped down from the sky and fired a machine gun, directly shooting down a fighter plane that had not had time to react. Seeing that the equipment of the Sahara Air Force was too advanced, the other fighters could only turn around and flee. But in terms of the speed of escape, how could they compare with the 4th generation fighter of the Sahara? So when the last 2 fighters just fled to the Canny Valley, they heard a loud bang and the Sahara Air Force behind them hit the engine of the Sac City fighter with a machine gun. The last Sac City fighter fell on the Canny Mountain and exploded. After destroying the Sac City Air Force, the Sac City armored vehicles and others also rushed to the outside of the Canny Valley. It seems that this time Sac City is determined to deal with itself. Brother Jiang, this is the Dream Grassland Air Force. We have shot down the invading enemy aircraft and now request to return. Allowed to return. Although there are enemy armored vehicle clusters in the valley now, the ones flying from the Dream Grassland are fighter jets, and they do not have the ability to bomb armored vehicles. Moreover, once the missiles they carry leave the Canny Valley, they will lose the satellite signal function. Many parts and operations of their fighter planes will fail, so they cannot launch missile strikes against the tanks on the ground. Not only that, when they fly into the desert, the tank clusters on the ground may have hidden artillery fire that can hit the aircraft. If they shoot down a fighter, Jiang Chen's loss will be great. Not to mention this fighter worth millions. The pilot alone will cost Jiang Chen his life. Soldiers are easy to find now, but pilots are hard to find. Pilots are simply 1 in a million. What's more, a pilot who has been trained, a pilot who can fight in the sky, is a talent that you can't get, even if you have money. All the Dream Grassland Air Force are returning. After circling over the Canny Valley for a while, the 5 fighter planes in the sky flew towards the Dream Grassland Air Force Base. Looking at the planes flying away, Song Weeping clenched his fists and shouted, "Chief, don't let them go. Launch missiles at them and blow them up." After Song Weeping finished speaking, Jiang Chen's face was a little embarrassed. Song Weeping's knowledge was indeed limited because he had not received any formal education in Sac City. Moreover, he had not seen the outside world, so his vision was a little behind the times. Fighters cannot be used for bombing. A missile on a fighter is worth tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. Using them to bomb the pile of broken copper and rotten iron on the ground is a losing business. Chief, what should we do if their armored vehicles attack us? Don't worry, you can continue to practice now. They will definitely not be able to beat us. Jiang Chen said that they could practice, and Song Weeping's face showed joy again. He didn't want to delay the training for a quarter of an hour. He even thought that if they could finish the training in advance and return to Sac City in advance, how many people in Sac City could they save? Okay, let's go train now, Song Weeping said, and took his troops to continue training in the Canny Valley. At this moment, the battlefield has been handed over to Jiang Chen again. Brother Jiang, they have arrived at the center of the stone pillars. Those stone pillars have been reinforced again. They definitely can't get through. In addition, if they want to take a detour through the valley, they will definitely be blown to death as long as they go down. After Wang Liping finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Several people sat in the monitoring room and looked at the situation on the front line. Sure enough, according to the information sent by the camera, when the enemy's tank cluster came to the concrete stone pillars, the dense stone pillars blocked the tanks. When the tanks were blocked, someone soon took a bomb to blow down the stone pillars. However, a pile of bombs were piled next to the stone pillars, and after a piece of artillery fire came, the stone pillars were safe and sound. Those people didn't seem to expect that these stone pillars were so solid. But soon someone buried bombs next to the sand pile of the stone pillars again, and they wanted to blow the stone pillars out of the sand pile. But as the explosive packs blew out pieces of yellow soil, they found that they were buried too deep at this time, and they couldn't blow them out at all. So another engineer began to dig the sand under the stone pillars. They dug for more than 10 minutes, and the pit was nearly several meters deep, but they still didn't dig to the bottom of the stone pillars. These stone pillars really became a big problem for them. Half an hour later, when the group of people despaired of these stone pillars, they began to think of ways to bypass them. It was difficult to bypass them, because from Canny Valley to Sac City, only this road was flat. The rest were all continuous sand dunes, and their tanks couldn't go over the sand dunes. Chapter 557, an airstrike. If their tanks can't get through, they won't be able to cause substantial damage to our Canny Valley, Wang Liping said, and soon he saw the infantry on the opposite side bypassing the stone formation and heading towards the valley. Behind the infantry, there was a group of engineers holding shovels and digging the sand dunes. They wanted to dig the sand dunes flat and then build a new road. Although this was very time consuming, if the road was not dug out, their armored troops would not be able to drive to the Canny Valley. If there were no armored troops in front to open the way, they might not be able to defeat the people in the Canny Valley. But when the engineers just arrived at the bottom of the sand valley, they were blown up into the sky by mines before they had taken a few steps. After dozens of engineers died, the enemy gave up the idea of digging a road and let the infantry charge instead. Attention, the first trench. Open fire when the enemy is close and save bullets. Every bullet you save can help many people in Sac City, Jiang Chen said, and soon after, the commander in the first trench 5 miles away sent back a report. Don't worry, sir. We guarantee that every bullet can kill an enemy. Now, all the equipment of the soldiers in Canny Valley, including bullets, are purchased. So Jiang Chen's principle is to save as much as possible. After all, the bullets you fired are equivalent to half a month's salary for poor people. Jiang Chen can see the situation 5 or 6 miles outside Canny Valley from the command room where he is. He sat in the command room and saw a group of Sac City soldiers wearing ragged clothes and looking like bandits rushing towards the first line of defense in Canny Valley like a tide. When these people entered the attack range of the first line of defense, they heard the sound of heavy machine guns, and soon a group of soldiers fell to the ground like wheat. The fortress composed of heavy machine guns looked like a small sand dune from a distance, but the lethality of this small sand dune was not something that 1 or 2 platoons could resist. Several heavy machine guns fired at the same time, and the first wave of attackers fell to the ground instantly. Seeing this, the other soldiers lay on the ground and crawled forward. The soldiers crawled forward, but before they had climbed far, they felt a sudden current in the sand, and a group of people lying on the ground were electrocuted into dead pigs. That's right, this is a new line of defense added outside the first line of defense, which is called the electric grid line of defense. This is also a new defensive method pioneered by the Saka troops. Many militants in Sac City are poor and have no shoes, so they come to the battle barefoot. If they step on the electric wires barefoot, they will definitely die. The first group of people who were about to climb to the trench kept twitching on the ground, and others thought they were possessed by evil spirits. In addition, Jiang Chen, who was promoted by the youth army, was the god of the desert, so the people behind began to get scared. The most fearful thing on the battlefield is that the more afraid you are, the less morale you will have, and the less morale you have, the easier it is for you to die. So when the first charge failed, the Sac City soldiers fled back one after another. Once they ran, they would be in trouble. As the saying goes, a defeat is like a mountain collapsing. Their running directly caused Jiang Chen to dispatch the combat helicopters in the Canny Valley. Combat helicopters are somewhat weak in blocking enemy attacks, but they are very powerful when chasing enemies. After combat helicopters flew into the sky, all those who were standing and running were shot into sieves. At the same time, the soldiers in the trenches rushed out again. They were all armed with submachine guns, and they shot the enemies all the way without even having the chance to fight back. The pursuit station chased the enemy until it reached the range of the enemy tanks. The horn of retreat blew, and many people retreated to the first trench reluctantly. When the first wave of soldiers was defeated, the engineers of Sac City dug into the valley again. The valley was full of mines, and many people were instantly blown into the sky as soon as they stepped on the mines. After dozens of people were killed in the valley, other engineers began to retreat. The commander of Sac City pointed a gun at them and told them to move forward, so these engineers had to fill the pit with their lives. When the soldiers of Sac City filled a valley, it was night. It was unusually cold in the desert at night. In the primitive desert that has never been governed, the temperature difference between day and night is very large. The temperature is 30 to 40 degrees at noon, but it suddenly drops to minus 20 to 30 degrees at night. This huge temperature difference makes the soldiers hiding in the bunkers shiver with cold, let alone those soldiers who have no heating measures. When the cold night came, many engineers were still forced to continue to build roads, while other soldiers built tents on the hills and started a fire. Jiang Chen stood on the top of the mountain, looking at the bonfires in the night, which formed a sea of oceans. Give them an airstrike, Jiang Chen said, and soon after a bomber took off from the Canny Valley Air Force Base. They had been waiting for this opportunity for a day. During the day, the bombers of Sac City also bombed the Canny Valley. Now they also want to let them know that the Air Force of the Canny Valley is not a vegetarian. 5 bombers carrying incendiary bombs flew directly to the Sac Army camp under the escort of 2 fighters. When the bombers arrived at the Sac Army camp, incendiary bombs were soon dropped from the sky. The moment of burning, the Sac City military camp, which had no place to hide, turned into a sea of fire. The fire kept burning on the sand dunes, and the tents of the Sac City soldiers were set on fire. The soldiers in the trenches were burned like ants in an oil pan and ran around. After several rounds of bombing, combat helicopters followed. The firepower of the combat helicopters was very strong. Under the heavy machine guns, the soldiers struggling in the sea of fire entered another regional mode. The cold night, the Sac City military camp had already turned into a hot summer. Under the armed attacks of bombers and combat helicopters, the entire Sac City military camp was in chaos. The fire burned all night, and when the sky brightened, the temperature in the desert gradually warmed up. In the early morning, when the first ray of sunlight fell from the sky, Jiang Chen stood on a high mountain with a telescope and looked at the sand dunes in the distance. The sand dunes were full of corpses lying in all directions. Some of the bodies were still covered with flames, and even the armored vehicles were blown up and scattered everywhere. Seeing that the enemy was defeated, Jiang Chen led his men to rush to the SAC army camp. When they arrived at the SAC army camp, there were not many people alive in the camp. Most of them died in the fire, and many others died in the cold night without any protection. In the early morning, the tank cluster and armored forces of SAC City had retreated. Mirakabe, who originally did not believe that a tourist attraction would have such a powerful force, really suffered a loss this time. Chapter 558 Plague. After the troops of SAC City retreated, Wang Liping persuaded Jiang Chen to pursue them and send troops directly to SAC City. Jiang Chen shook his head and refused. The ancient military strategy says that it is the best strategy to defeat the enemy without fighting. Jiang Chen now has such an opportunity. Now SAC City still looks strong on the surface, but SAC City has long been a rotten rag inside. Not to mention that the paradise promoted by Song Weeping has been deeply popular. In this hot summer, the Sahara army killed so many young soldiers. Then they put their bodies outside the wall to form a corpse wall. The sun was scorching, and the temperature was so high that it would be strange if SAC City did not spread the plague. Jiang Chen was waiting for this moment. When the plague in SAC City was rampant, people would attribute all their resentment to the three armed leaders. By then, SAC City would be a world of white terror. By then, Jiang Chen would assist the leader of the youth army, Song Weeping, to kill SAC City, and he would be able to flatten SAC City in one fell swoop. Not only can he annihilate SAC City, but at this moment Jiang Chen is also coming to SAC City as a savior. When the time comes, he will eliminate the plague and he will be the hero of the entire SAC City. Release the captured prisoners, and tell them that, because General Morris and his men challenge the majesty of the desert god will bring disaster to them. In addition, those who want to survive must kill the heads of the three major armed forces to determine their fate. Brother Jiang, what should we do with those armed element? If we can win them over, it will reduce the casualties of the people of SAC City. Let the prisoners go back, and tell those soldiers that, as long as they can kill their leaders, and hold their heads, and stand in line in the east of SAC City in 10 days, they will not be punished. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Wang Liping nodded. Wang Liping brought all the prisoners here. After the prisoners were brought here, Wang Liping asked people to force them to brainwash, and then told them about the various things that Jiang Chen showed in the desert. These people are all religious, and they believe in ghosts and gods. So after Jiang Chen's new experts spread the word, they all believed it without a doubt. After the soldiers were released, they returned to SAC City and spread the word Jiang Chen gave them. At this moment, SAC City has entered the midsummer. The temperature in the desert is very high. With the sun shining, the piled up corpses turned into thick water. When the wind blew, the plague virus formed by the thick water blew all into SAC City. There was a plague in SAC City, and more people were sick. Moreover, the medical conditions in SAC City were particularly poor, and they had no way to deal with those who had the plague. At this time, the young army and the captured SAC City armed soldiers began to spread rumors again, saying that these were all because the three armed cases offended the desert god and the desert god brought them disasters. If they want to get rid of the disaster, they must all move to the easternmost part of the desert. Not only do people have to move to the easternmost part of the desert, but those soldiers who want to get rid of their sins must kill their superiors, and then carry the superiors' heads to the east to line up, and wait for the salvation of the gods. The people who were trapped in despair seemed to see a bright light, which guided them to use their last bit of strength to grasp their own lives. So the whole city of SAC was in chaos, and Generals Muris and Merapu were very scared. They dispatched troops, tanks and armored vehicles to suppress the people who tried to escape. However, once the people's hearts are scattered, it is difficult to gather them again. So more and more people fled, and because of the arrival of the plague, the soldiers in the desert gradually contracted the plague. More and more soldiers fell, and the soldiers believed more and more what the captives said. So many soldiers rose up and shot their leaders. 10 days passed quietly at the fingertips, and the commanders who were sent to the Sahara military academy to study returned to the Kani Valley military base. More than 4,000 young soldiers at the Canny Valley military base also finished training, and then they began live fire drills. After the live fire drills, Jiang Chen's newly purchased batch of armor-piercing shells, rocket launchers and other equipment to deal with armored vehicles were all transported to the Canny Valley military base. On the 5th day after the training, Song Weeping set out with his troops. At this moment, a brand new cement road has been rebuilt outside the Canny Valley. Super trucks, tanks, armored vehicles, and more than 4,000 soldiers moved quickly towards Sac City. When they arrived at Sago City, it was already dawn. At dawn, the battle started in the west of Sago City. General Morris's troops of nearly 2,000 people were still stationed in the west. As soon as the battle started, the armored clusters on both sides began to shoot at each other. As soon as the armored vehicles started fighting, a reconnaissance plane flew over Sac City in the sky. The reconnaissance plane quickly recorded the deployment of Sago City's troops and the flow of personnel. After the recording was completed, the reconnaissance plane returned to the Canny Valley. Less than half an hour after the reconnaissance plane returned to the Canny Valley, several fighters escorted nearly 10 bombers and took off. For this operation, Jiang Chen mobilized almost all of his air force. Under the protection of the fighter jets, the bomber quickly flew over Sac City. When the plane arrived over Sac City, nearly 5 fighter jets had already taken off over Sac City. It must be said that Sac City is indeed the most powerful city in this area. When the desert annexed Central Asia, Sac City was the largest city in the west of this small country. And Sac City is also the western military base of this small country, so it can have so many fighter jets, so many tanks and armored vehicles. The air battle in the sky began, and the modified 4th generation fighter jets quickly defeated the Sac City Air Force with an overwhelming advantage in the sky. There was even an air force in Sac City that chose to surrender as soon as it took off. Then the bombers entered the sky over Sac City, and every stronghold of the 3 major armed groups marked by the reconnaissance aircraft all entered the bombing range of the bombers. In the early morning, the entire Sago City was caught in a sea of artillery fire, but when the rumbling sound of artillery was heard, soon the houses in Sac City were blown flat, and a rental base instantly turned into a sea of fire. After the Air Force carried out a bombing, it immediately flew to the Western Front. The entire Western Front was exposed in a golden desert, where nearly 2,000 people formed the first trench. But after the bombers bombed, the entire trench was instantly flattened. There were also tank clusters and armored vehicle units. After the bombers carrying armor-piercing bombs dropped armor-piercing bombs, the armored clusters instantly turned into a death hell. After the bombing, the opposite side was basically silent. One tank after another started charging with the armored vehicles. Behind the armored vehicles were thousands of Sac City youths. Today's Sahara Youth Army is no longer the recruits 20 days ago. At that time, the Youth Army was just a group of children. They were unarmed and didn't even have clothes to cover their bodies. Chapter 559. Destruction leads to rebirth. Today's Youth Army has been completely renewed. They are equipped with China's most advanced light machine guns. They are wearing the latest bulletproof vests, and their khaki uniforms are very conspicuous in the desert. Under the cover of tanks, the Youth Army was the first to defeat the western defense line of Sac City. After defeating the western defense line, more than 4,000 Youth Army soldiers were divided into 2 groups, and began to encircle and advance towards the entire Sac City. Tanks were in front, armored vehicles were behind, and groups of youth soldiers were behind them. On the roads in the city, wherever there was an obstruction, the tanks would directly blow it up. So in Sac City, you can see collapsed houses everywhere. At this moment, Jiang Chen was no longer stingy, because Jiang Chen knew that only by destroying Sac City could Sac City be truly reborn. Let's not talk about the 2 Youth Army advancing step by step towards Sac City. When Jiang Chen led Song Weeping and a medical team of nearly 100 people to the open space in the east of the city, he saw an endless sea of shabby tents in the desert. The sand dunes outside the tent area were already full of people as far as the eye could see. Those people were wearing ragged clothes. Some had white cloth on their heads, and some had black veils on their faces. But without exception, these people were very thin, and some even leaned on crutches, and looked at the north of Sac City with their dying breath. The north was the direction of the dream grassland. Here they come. The leaders of the Youth Army are here. The leaders of the Youth Army are here with the angels in white. When the youth army team of nearly 600 people in military uniforms arrived in the distance, the people of Sac City, who were leading the team, shouted excitedly behind them. After the people shouted, all the people of Sac City waved their hands and shed tears excitedly. They chose to believe the words of the youth army. They chose to believe the words of the Sac City soldiers who were captured and released, and they firmly believed that the gods believed in by the youth army would really come from the north. Then they would bring groups of angels to rescue them from suffering and from the torture of illness. Now it has come as expected. Let's go check it out first. There must be Sac City reactionary troops here. Jiang Chen gave the order and soon a group of troops in ragged clothes and holding various guns rushed out of the refugee camp. There were nearly 2,000 people in these troops. Prepare for battle. Seeing the enemy coming from a distance, Song Weeping hurriedly gave orders. Now that their military equipment is very good, let alone 2,000 people on the opposite side, even if there are 3,000 people, they are still not afraid of 600 people. Don't shoot, don't shoot, they are all our own people, they are the surrendered Sac army. An old man came out of the crowd, waving his hands and shouting at Song Weeping. After the old man shouted, he shouted at the Sac army behind him, it is the youth army led by the desert god. Put down your guns quickly, put down your guns quickly, don't let the youth army misunderstand. When the patrol soldiers heard that the King Yuan army was coming, they put down their guns and waved their hands at the youth army. These people are young people among the captured Sac City militants who rebelled, and some old people. As time passed, and the day when the youth army was to arrive, many people fled from the city. However, the armed element were chasing them, and many Sac City soldiers revolted during the process. The revolting soldiers seized guns, defeated the Sac City soldiers who came to chase them, and then protected the villagers, and retreated to the sand dunes in the east. After retreating to the sand dunes, they formed the Sand Dune Coalition on the sand dunes. The Sand Dune Coalition that arrived at this time was only a part of the coalition. There were nearly 7,000 people in the Sand Dune Coalition who actually defected from the three major armed forces. After the youth army met with the Sand Dune Coalition, Jiang Chen hurriedly asked the soldiers to disinfect the refugees living on the entire sand dune. Jiang Chen used a large truck to pull several trucks of disinfectant. After the disinfectant was pulled into the sand dune refugee area, they were shocked by the hell-like scene in front of them before they had time to splash it. Specifically, this is a human tragedy. There were 1 or 2 corpses piled up next to almost every shabby tent in the refugee camp. Those corpses had already smelled bad. There were also some weak children lying on the ground, dying. What was terrifying was that when the soldiers in charge of disinfection went to many households, some people actually roasted the tender and freshly dead children on the fire. This kind of thing that only happened in books actually appeared in front of them. How could people not be shocked? Exclamation mark. Why do you want to eat children? You bunch of devils. A soldier who came from the grassland scenic area roared and picked up the butt of his gun and beat the middle-aged man who roasted the child to death on the ground. The soldier killed the man, and a group of refugees around him knelt on the ground in fear. They were afraid of this group of people because in the doctrine of the youth army, these people were the guardian gods of the desert god, and they had the right to execute anyone who disrespected the desert god. There was a conflict in the refugee camp, and someone hurriedly reported the news to Jiang Chen. When Jiang Chen rushed to the tent, he looked at the refugee area full of dead bodies, and he couldn't help but sigh. Chief, they are a group of demons. Look at the newborn baby, they ate it. Oh no, we are not demons. The child is already dead. If we don't eat, we will starve to death. Looking at the skinny refugees, Jiang Chen didn't know whether to blame them or not. Disinfect quickly, and move all the people with the plague to the open space for isolation. In addition, you hurry back to Canny Valley and ask them to call the scenic spot and ask the scenic spot to send food. The sooner the better. Looking at the human tragedy in front of him, Jiang Chen did not scold his soldiers, nor did he blame those hungry demons. If there is food, who would be willing to eat their own children? So Jiang Chen could only notify Guan Ku to mobilize as much food as he could, and then use his super truck to transport it from the Bermuda oasis scenic area to this side. In addition to the trucks, Jiang Chen also asked all the planes that could be powered to transport all the food here and then airdrop it to Sac City. The soldier drove the jeep to the Canny Valley to make a phone call. Jiang Chen looked at the endless tents and couldn't help but frown. There were so many sick people here that it was really hard to count them. It was really a big problem to treat them. Moreover, this problem was not something that could be solved with money. No, there are too many patients. I'm afraid there are not enough doctors in Sahara hospital. Even if there were enough doctors, Jiang Chen was still worried about whether there were enough medicines in Sahara hospital. You know, the entire Northwest line has just been opened, and medicines are scarce. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 560, The Desert Spreading Poisonous Gas. There are nearly 90,000 people in Sac City, excluding the nearly 10,000 soldiers who did not surrender. Plus the dead people, there are at least 60,000 to 70,000 people in Sac City. At least 20,000 of these people are sick, which is a huge number. All of these people need clothes, food, doctors, and medicine. Jiang Chen can still do it for food, but medicine is really in short supply. Although the Yimo Expressway has been opened, the things transported now are basically some daily necessities and tourists. So now the medicine stored in the entire Sahara hospital are barely enough for the people in the special zone in the scenic area. If they are distributed to these people, it will definitely not be enough. Hello, is this Dean's son? It's me. What's the situation in Sac City now? Are the doctors sent enough? At this moment, not many people in the scenic area knew that Jiang Chen had attacked Sac City, but Dean's son knew. Because before leaving, Jiang Chen had borrowed a lot of doctors and nurses from Dean's son, and Jiang Chen also asked Dean's son to prepare some more basic medicines. There are far from enough people, Dean's son. The situation here is a bit serious. There are at least tens of thousands of people who have been infected with the plague, and there are also thousands of people who have other diseases. So can you contact more doctors and nurses from China and ask them to rush over? Dean's son frowned when he heard that the situation in Sac City was so serious. Sure enough, it was just as he imagined. I will try my best to contact them. Even if I can get doctors and nurses from China, they are not willing to go to places like Sac City. You should quickly find a way to transfer those sick people to the Sahara scenic area or the special zone. After Dean's son finished speaking, Jiang Chen thought about it, and it was indeed true. When most Chinese people mention Sac City, the first thing they think of is a synonym for sin. Since doctors and nurses cannot come to Sac City, it is not realistic to transfer all these patients to the special zone. Because these people do not have passports. If they do not have passports, they will not be approved, even if they apply for a special permit from the special zone. Then please help me contact the doctors and nurses and ask them to go directly to the scenic area. Then I'll help you contact them. After Dean's son finished speaking, Jiang Chen hung up the phone. Now, the only thing he could do was to quickly transfer all the injured patients to the Sahara scenic area. When it comes to transferring patients, there is still a very thorny problem. Now these patients have more or less plagues, which are infectious diseases. If they are transferred to the scenic area, won't it cause panic in the scenic area? The scenic area is the place where Jiang Chen relies on for survival, so Jiang Chen can't let it have any problems, so this hospital can't be placed in the scenic area. After thinking about it, Jiang Chen suddenly had a good idea. Why doesn't he build a super hospital between the Sahara scenic area and Sac City? Now many cities like to build hospitals in the city, which leads to traffic congestion. If the hospital is built outside the city now, won't it avoid urban congestion? Moreover, building a new hospital between the Sahara scenic area and Sac City will not only benefit Sac City and the people to see a doctor, but also benefit the soldiers of the Dream Grassland military base and the patients in the Sahara scenic area for hospitalization. Jiang Chen had already made up his mind when he thought of this. However, to build a hospital, he had to conquer the entire Sac City first. At the refugee base in the east of the city, Jiang Chen let all the first batch of doctors in. Then he led nearly 7,000 soldiers who surrendered from Sac City and continued to attack the main city of Sac. The main city of Sac City was still roaring with artillery fire. The youth army divided into two groups and launched an attack from the west and north of the city. The youth army relied on planes in the sky, tanks and armored vehicles to advance quickly. They encountered a lot of resistance, but with the help of armored vehicles and tanks, the people hiding behind the wall were quickly repelled. The real end of the battle in Sac City was after more than 7,000 Allied forces launched an attack from the south and the east. Surrounded by four sides, the Sac army had no way to retreat. Da-da-da. Rumble. The sound of artillery continued around. Time passed quickly, from dusk to night, and then from night to morning. After dawn, the coalition led by Jiang Chen and the youth army had already entered the city center. At this moment, there was only an area of less than 5 miles in the city center. In this area, there were nearly 3,000 Sac troops. They relied on the concrete building in the center of Sac City and the underground tunnel to make their last struggle and counterattack. Brother Jiang, General Muris and Malazi have been killed. Now only Malakaze is still resisting in the bunker in the center. After Jiang Chen and Wang Liming met, Wang Liming helped report the battle on the front line to Jiang Chen. Hearing that 2 of the 3 major warlords had been eliminated, Jiang Chen felt relieved. Bombing. Let the Air Force continue bombing, and let the tanks and armored vehicles go in first. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Wang Liming ordered the Air Force to bomb the defense zone in the center of Sac City. This time, the bombers dropped nearly hundreds of bombs. The bombs directly blew the high-rise building in the center into ruins. After the Air Force airstrikes, the tank troops and armored vehicle troops quickly entered the last line of defense. After the armored vehicles entered the scene, the young soldiers behind the armored vehicles also followed the armored vehicles and kept shooting at the surviving Sakcheng soldiers in the ruins. After dealing with all the soldiers on the ground, a group of people began to counterattack underground. The building in the center of Sac City is Kabe's lair, so there are tunnels everywhere. Jiang Chen found a few people who knew the entrances to the tunnels from the captives, and under their guidance, he found several key entrances to the tunnels. After finding the entrance to the tunnel, Jiang Chen did not let the soldiers rush in directly. He asked the surrendered soldiers to go down and persuade them to surrender. After all, the Sakcheng soldiers in the tunnels can reduce the casualties of the young soldiers, and Jiang Chen did not want to kill more people. After the soldiers responsible for persuading surrender rushed to the tunnels, gunshots were heard soon, and the people who went down hurriedly fled. After escaping, this group of people reported to Jiang Chen that the soldiers in the tunnels refused to surrender, and Jiang Chen was furious on the spot. Jiang Chen waved his hand and the poison gas troops quickly filled the various tunnels in Sac City with poison gas, and then covered the doors of the tunnels. There is no need to talk to them about conscience when dealing with such people. Even if you talk to them about conscience, they will not talk to you about conscience. They will only cause you to suffer heavy casualties. After the poison gas was poured in, time passed little by little. 2 hours later, the biochemical troops carried oxygen cylinders and gas masks and began to attack the tunnel. The tunnel war was a bit frustrated. Many Sac City rebels were poisoned to death by the poison gas, but many people saved their lives because they hid in the small houses inside. In addition, the tunnel was complicated and full of mazes, so it was very difficult to fight inside. Chapter 561 Salmon Hospital. When Jiang Chen had dealt with all the soldiers in the Sac City tunnel, it was already noon of the second day. At noon, the entire Sac City was liberated. In this battle, Jiang Chen killed General Muris and the 3 armed groups of Marapu and Malacca Bay. After liberating the entire Sac City, things were far from over. Everything was just beginning. The first thing Jiang Chen had to deal with was the surrendered prisoners. These prisoners were different from the rebels. Jiang Chen could regard the rebels as friends, but these people who surrendered because they couldn't win were still enemies. Not only were there still prisoners to be dealt with, there were nearly 60,000 survivors in Sac City, and their accommodation and medical care were major problems that needed to be solved urgently. Brother Jiang, what should we do with those prisoners? Should we kill them directly or lock them up? In the Sac City command center, Wang Liming looked at Jiang Chen and asked. There were nearly 3,000 prisoners. If they were not dealt with in time or properly, they might cause a second rebellion. Send them all to the mechanical town. From today on, they will be sentenced to war crimes, deprived of their lifelong freedom, and made to work in the mechanical town to atone for their sins. Jiang Chen thought for a long time, and the best way he could think of was to set up a special criminal management company. This company is like a prison in China, but the difference between it and a prison is that these people have to work overtime every day, and they must appear wherever they are needed. It just so happens that Jiang Chen's special zone and scenic area are short of labor. If these 3,000 people are added to the construction of the scenic area, it will solve a big problem. Moreover, Jiang Chen will not let these people work for nothing. They will be paid every month for their work, but these rewards will not be given to them, but directly to their families. I will send someone to escort them to the mechanical town to work. After Wang Liping said this, Jiang Chen also made a special call to Guan Cubic. Guan Ku has now returned to the special zone. Guan Ku will help to receive the doctors and nurses recruited by President Sun from China. He is also responsible for temporarily settling them. When the hospital in the scenic area is built, they will go to work in the hospital. President Guan, I have asked Wang Liping to escort 3,000 prisoners to report to you. Let them work overtime to build the mechanical town to atone for their sins. Okay, I will definitely settle them down. By the way, brother Jiang, now we have recruited hundreds of doctors and nurses. How do we settle them down? Wait a minute, you continue to arrange the equipment needed for the hospital, and I will prepare to build the hospital immediately. After hanging up the phone, Jiang Chen no longer had time to think about other things. The only thing he had to do now was to build the hospital quickly. He had to cure the patients who could still survive in Sac City first. This was the most important thing. To build a hospital, he had to choose a good location first. He had already chosen the location of the hospital, which was right between Sac City and the Sahara scenic area. The land was in the second canyon of the Canny Mountain. The second canyon of the Canny Mountain was wider than the Canny Valley, and it was the shortest straight line distance between Jiangcheng City and Sac City. Let's start the construction. It's at least 100 miles from Sac City to Sahara scenic area. We have to find a way to flatten it first. From Sac City to Sahara scenic area, there is endless desert in between. The hills are very tall and the surface is uneven. It is not suitable for one-click planting, so Jiang Chen can only let the bulldozer push a flat road out before he can start to pay attention. Jiang Chen started to do it right away. He first planted more than 100 super bulldozers, more than 100 excavators and more than 100 rollers in Sac City first construction, and then let the people of Sahara Core drive it to start building the road. When the people of the core started to build the road, Jiang Chen was not idle. He drove directly and drove into the depths of the desert. When he came to the second pass of Canny Valley, Jiang Chen found a large piece of flat land on the north side of the tall Canny Mountain, and then began to build a super hospital. Jiang Chen named this hospital Salmon Hospital. This name was chosen to commemorate the young soldiers who died in Sac City. They were descendants of the Salmon dynasty. Jiang Chen also gave the desert residents a new name. From now on, they will be called Salmon people. Jiang Chen has discussed with the young leaders, and they are very satisfied with this name. Because the Salmon dynasty was the most powerful time for their ancestors, so this name has a profound meaning. This hospital must be large. In the future, all the patients in Sac City will be concentrated here for recuperation. Therefore, this hospital must be built into a super large hospital. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he first planted rows of accommodation buildings on the flat ground. These accommodation buildings can be used as wards. After planting nearly 1,000 accommodation buildings, Jiang Chen started greening again. After the greening was completed, it was already night. Jiang Chen was not idle at night. He knew that, as long as he worked harder for one more minute, one more person in Sac City would be saved. At night, Jiang Chen built a lake in a valley. This lake was the water source for the hospital. After the water source was built, Jiang Chen started to build the road in the hospital. Time passed little by little, and when Jiang Chen completed the construction of the entire Salmon Hospital, it was noon on the fourth day. At noon, the road construction team had built a road from Sac City to Salmon Hospital. Although it was just a simple paved yellow sand road, it was already a very good road in the desert. As soon as a road was built to Salmon Hospital, Jiang Chen directly planted a super cement road from the Shaman Hospital to Sac City. After the cement road was paved, Jiang Chen planted 2 rows of street lights on both sides of the cement road. When Jiang Chen built the road from Shaman Hospital to Sac City, he drove to inform Song Weeping to take all the seriously ill patients to Salmon Hospital. While sending patients here, Jiang Chen built a road from Salmon Hospital to the Cactus Forest World. After the road here was built, Guangku hurriedly asked the super truck to pull various medical equipment purchased from China, medical beds, quilts and other supplies to Salmon Hospital. After the first batch of supplies arrived at Salmon Hospital, Song Weeping recruited nearly 5,000 workers from Sac City to assemble medical equipment, beds, and various other things needed for the hospital. This was a race against time, and no one dared to be careless. Jiang Chen also believed that man can conquer nature. So when the hospital equipment was just assembled, Jiang Chen called Guangku to send all the medical staff to Salmon Hospital. Chapter 562 I'm super awesome. It was half a month later when the first batch of doctors officially entered the Salmon Hospital. During this half month, Jiang Chen invested nearly 27 billion yuan in Salmon Hospital, including housing, greening and doctors. Such a large investment is even more valuable than some domestic listed companies. After the Salmon Hospital officially started operation, the first batch of nearly 3,000 seriously ill patients from Sac City were received. Most of these patients came from poor families. They did not have much money, and many people were unwilling to come here. But Jiang Chen promised them that, as long as they came to the hospital to cure their diseases, they would work for the Sahara group for free for 5 years in the future to offset their medical expenses. They would not insist on not getting paid for these 5 years of work, but would be paid half of the market price. Don't underestimate this half of the market price. Now Sahara employees have to start at least 5,000 or 6,000 yuan a month, and this half of the work is 2,500 or 2,600 yuan, which is more than what they earn in Sac City in a year. So after strengthening the implementation of this policy, more and more people in Sac City began to go to Salmon Hospital for treatment. After the people's serious illnesses received good treatment, they became more and more grateful to Jiang Chen. Originally, these people did not trust foreigners, just like the United States back then. The damage that the United States brought to them could not be made up by time. But Jiang Chen in front of them was obviously different from them. The United States was only responsible for fighting, but never built a decent hospital for them, let alone treating their patients for free. But now Jiang Chen not only built a hospital for them, but also prepared to take their young people to work in the Sahara group to earn money, so that their people would become rich. 1 month after the super hospital was built, Salmon Hospital had received nearly 30,000 people. The plague in Sac City was basically under control, and all medical staff disinfected Sac City every day. All the killed Sac City youth soldiers were buried, and Jiang Chen also built a Sac City Youth Army monument in the old city. The monument was engraved with the names of every youth soldier who gave his life for the freedom and peace of Sac City. Summer passed and autumn came, and Jiang Chen was still busy with the affairs of Sac City. Now there was nothing to worry about his scenic spot, so Jiang Chen put all his energy into the construction of Sac City. With the arrival of autumn, the weather has turned cooler, but the desert is different from other places. The sky in the desert is still extremely hot. Brother Jiang, now the people of Sakcheng worship you as a new god. No one believes that we are here to persecute them. After sending the first batch of young people from Sakcheng to work in the Sahara scenic area, they soon took the first month's salary back to Sakcheng. Looking at the stacks of banknotes, all the living people in Sakcheng were excited. They began to believe what Song Weeping said to them. Yes, Jiang Chen is their god. The only one in the world who can save them when they are hungry and cold is Jiang Chen. It doesn't matter whether he is a god or not. What we need to do is to ensure that every household in Sakcheng can have enough food and clothes. Jiang Chen now faces many difficulties. First of all, the women here don't work much, and there are some families without young people. They don't have anyone going out to work, and are still extremely poor. These are some problems. Brother Jiang, Sac City is not developing well now. If you want Sac City to become rich, you need factories. There are not many companies willing to come here. Even if we reduce taxes, they are not willing to come. Speaking of Sac City, the promotion manager could not help but shake his head and sigh. Now the tax-free policy and transportation advantages of the special zone have made many companies choose to settle in the Yimo special zone. Even some small and medium-sized enterprises have settled nearby. There are not many companies willing to settle in Sac City. It's okay that companies outside are unwilling to come. Even companies within the Sahara group are unwilling to settle here. Apart from other things, because this place is poor, even restaurants like Laokin Noodle House that make money by food are unwilling to come, let alone other companies. Now we must plan it well. I think Sac City cannot do without tourism if it wants to develop. We are in the tourism business. Do you see, if Sac City has any good tourism resources? It is indeed the most convenient thing to build a scenic spot. Now there are nearly 70,000 people in Sac City. Among these 70,000 people, 20,000 can work in the Sahara group to earn money, but the remaining 50,000 people can only rely on Jiang Chen's assistance to support themselves. Jiang Chen can help them for 1 or 2 years, but he can't support them for a lifetime. But if Jiang Chen doesn't support them, these people might regroup into a hidden danger organization and continue to do those illegal things. I think tourism is a good idea. I discussed it with Song Weeping, the leader temporarily elected by Sac City yesterday. I have promised him that the first batch of seeds will be shipped to him in early winter this year, and Sac City will become an oasis next spring. In addition, we also talked about tourism. I think the ancient city of Sac City is more suitable as a tourist attraction. The ancient city of Sac City is where the people of Sac City have always lived. Although it has been bombed by Jiang Chen and has now become a ruin, it will not take much to rebuild them. Moreover, these earthen houses in Sac City are real desert buildings, which are of great help in studying the history of the desert. Apart from these houses, are there anything else? Today's tourists have high standards. If you only rely on this earthen wall, it will be difficult to attract them. There's nothing else. There's a valley. When spring comes, the people of Sac City will plant poppies there. The poppies are very beautiful when they bloom. After Guangxu finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. It was impossible to plant poppies again. Could it be that this thing was still harmful? No, we can't let them continue to plant poppies. Since I rescued them from hell, I will never let them go back to hell. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Guangxu hurriedly shook his head. No, brother Jiang, you may have misunderstanding about poppies. This thing can indeed be used to refine drugs, but it can also be used to refine many very useful medicines for humans. Many stubborn diseases of humans can be extracted from poppies. As long as we make full use of it, it is not only harmless to us humans, but beneficial to us humans. After Guangxu finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at Guangxu and asked, what benefits does it bring to us? Chapter 563 Super More Seeds. Speaking of the benefits of poppy, Guangxu introduced it to Jiang Chen. After being refined, poppy can treat many stubborn diseases, such as cough and pain relief and hypnosis. It is very helpful for treating chronic cough and diarrhea, chronic dysentery, rectal prolapse, heart and abdomen pain, etc. According to the plan of Guangxu and Song Weeping, they are going to turn this valley into a poppy base, and when the flowers bloom, they can do tourism here. After the flowers bloom, they will build a pharmaceutical factory here, and then process all of them into medicine, and then sell them all over the world. In this way, those children or elderly people who can't go to work in the Sahara group can stay in Sac City and continue to grow poppy crops. Then they can also work in the pharmaceutical factory, which can not only arrange employment for the people, but also make them rich. More importantly, the pharmaceutical factory and tourism can also be developed, and then the entire Sac City can support itself. After Guangxu explained this matter to Jiang Chen nodded after listening. Since it would be a good thing if opium could be used for medicine instead of drug development, it would definitely be a good thing. Moreover, employment and the city's finances are all problems in Sac City, and if they can solve this problem through the pharmaceutical factory, why not? So after some discussion, Jiang Chen agreed to this idea. So when autumn came, Jiang Chen began to transform the tourism construction of Sac City. Speaking of the tourism construction work in Sac City, the first thing is to relocate all the people in Sac City from the dilapidated old city. Then transform the dilapidated old city into a scenic spot. But it is still a big problem to relocate 70,000 people from the old city. In order to solve the relocation problem, Jiang Chen decided to build a new city of Sac directly in the north of Sac City. Sac New City will be built in accordance with modern community standards. In the future, it will be connected to the internet, electricity, and all modern facilities. After making up his mind, Jiang Chen began to build. The first step of construction is site selection. The address has been determined, just 10 miles away from Sac City, on both sides of Kearney Valley Avenue. The second step is to push the sand dunes. Jiang Chen used the super bulldozers, excavators, and road rollers he had planted in Sac City to set up the Sac City Construction Company. After the Sac City Construction Company was established, they were sent to Sac New City to carry out bulldozing activities. In the autumn, after hundreds of large bulldozers and excavators worked hard on a piece of yellow sand for a month, the entire land of the new city was flattened. Seeing that late autumn was coming, Jiang Chen dared not waste time casually. You know, the winter in the desert is very cold. This is the first winter after he unified Sac City. He didn't want anyone to freeze to death. So, in late autumn, after Jiang Chen withdrew the Sac City Construction Company, he built a house in Sac New City. The planning of Sac New City is not just as simple as accommodating 60,000 to 70,000 Sac City residents. You know, this is the southern satellite city of the Sahara group after all. In the future, he will share a lot of pressure for Sahara's big city. Moreover, this is the first city of the Sac people. It is also a place to express its position to all other desert nations, so it must be large and luxurious. Therefore, the building area of the entire Sac City is 1,000 square kilometers, which is completely the area of a smaller city. First, plant the desert giant cacti around, so that we don't have to worry, even if the winter blizzard comes. Jiang Chen said as he planted a circle of desert giant cacti around Sac New City. Just after the cacti were planted, there was a sudden ding dong sound, and Jiang Chen's phone rang. Jiang Chen was a little surprised, because he hadn't received a system reminder for a long time. Jiang Chen was wondering if this cheating system was no longer giving him seeds based on the number of tourists. Click to see. Clicking on the desert farming system, the system really sent a text message reminder. System prompt. Congratulations to the player for breaking through 60,000 registered population. The player will receive a new seed. Please check it. Oh my god. Are they really going to give new seeds based on population? This is not a good sign. Seed introduction. Desert Super Mall seed. This seed can grow a shopping mall building. Super mall building? Sure. If I can plant a building directly, I can save a lot of time in construction. Jiang Chen said, and clicked on the price introduction. Price introduction. The Super Mall building is 110 meters high and worth 700 million. The cost of 700 million is already very high, but considering that this is a desert and transportation is inconvenient, 700 million is enough to buy a super mall. Since I have to rely on the permanent population to deliver seeds in the future, I must build Sac City into my first super city. Jiang Chen planned after he finished speaking. Originally, he planned to build a Sac City, but now he decided to build a twin city with Kearney Valley Avenue as the center. In addition to the twin cities, he also reserved 2 other plots of land. Also with Kearney Valley Avenue as the center, 4 cities will be built, but this is a future plan. The construction of the twin cities should pay attention to characteristics. This characteristic is to use the road as a point and directly pull out 2 diamond-shaped cities on both sides. The diamond points of the 2 cities meet on Kearney Valley Avenue. After the plan was completed, Jiang Chen started planting again. The first thing was the road. Jiang Chen directly built a wide central avenue in the east-west direction perpendicular to the Diamond Point and Kearney Valley Avenue. After the avenue was built, Jiang Chen built a crossroad in the middle of the Diamond Avenue, which was the commercial street of the Twin Cities. After the cross street was built, Jiang Chen built 4 super shopping malls in the center of the cross street. After the super shopping malls were built, other shopping streets were planted directly on the 2 cross streets. After the shopping avenues on the cross streets were built, the next thing to do was to plant houses for ordinary people. There are two types of houses for ordinary people to live in. One is a single family villa built for the rich, and the other is a small high-rise for ordinary people to live in. After some thinking, Jiang Chen decided to plant villas in the best location. These villas are mainly 2-story and 3-story villas, and of course there are some 6-story townhouses. When the villa area was built, Jiang Chen directly planted a piece of 7-story residential area on the periphery. In this way, after 2 days of busy work, the East City of the Twin Cities has been built. After the East City was built, Jiang Chen built a replica of the original East City and the West City of the Twin Cities. After the two cities were built, if you were standing in the sky and looking at it, the Kearney Valley Boulevard was like a mirror. The East City and the West City seemed to be in the mirror and outside the mirror, respectively. It all looked so magical. Okay, the SAC Twin Cities are built. These two identical twin cities are a complete tourist attraction. Moreover, these two cities can accommodate at least 800,000 people. Not only can they solve the housing problem of the people of Sac City, but they can also accommodate more outsiders in the future. Chapter 564. No moment to lose. After the construction of the Sac Twin Cities, Jiang Chen started the landscaping work. The landscaping of the Sac Twin Cities was not simple. Jiang Chen wanted to green every vacant lot in every community. Not only that, he also wanted to plant desert giant cacti around the Twin Cities. After all these were built, another week passed. Time quickly went from early autumn to late autumn. After the arrival of late autumn, the weather gradually turned cooler. Jiang Chen built a pool and a station in the Sac Twin Cities, and then planted a signal base station and several signal towers. Finally, he planted a power generation center outside the Sac City. After the power generation center was built, Jiang Chen built 2 gas stations in the Sac Twin Cities. After all these were built, the Twin Cities began to be delivered for use. When the winter wind blew, Jiang Chen prepared to sell all the villas in the Twin Cities to the residents of Sac City. Those residents were reluctant to move to the new city because most of them were very poor. And when they were in the old city, at least they had a place to live without spending money. Although the new city is good, they just regret that they have no money in their pockets. Jiang Chen also thought about this problem. Jiang Chen's purpose of building Sac City is not to make money from the people of Sac City. He just wants to rescue those people living in rat holes. But if they don't pay a little money, once they get used to this kind of pie in the sky, who will be willing to work in the future? Leader, is what you said true? As long as the people are willing to mortgage their houses in Sac City, can they exchange for houses of equal area in the new city? No, their houses can only be mortgaged for 90% of the house price, and they still need to pay 10% of the house price. But for this 10%, I will give them a 30% discount on the original house price. This is already Jiang Chen's biggest concession. For example, a villa in Twin Cities. Such a villa in the desert costs at least tens of millions. But in order to allow the people of Sac City to move in, as long as they withdraw from the old Sac City and give those dilapidated old houses to Jiang Chen, they only need to pay another 1 million. Of course, Jiang Chen also took into account that they had no money, so he only needed to pay 30% of the 1 million, and this 30% was 300,000. Chief, the houses in Twin Cities are indeed good, but they really don't have that much money to pay 300,000. Sac City had just been liberated, and the people here couldn't even solve the problem of food, so where could they get so much money? I know they don't have that much money, so I opened a bank here, and they can come to me for interest-free loans. They can't pay back so much money after the loan. You don't have to worry about this. Just tell those people that I will give them jobs, and if they can't pay back the money within 10 years, I will give them the house for free. Jiang Chen has already planned that after his Twin Cities are built, all the shopping streets in Twin Cities will not be sold to the public. He will set up a special housing management group like the houses in the special zone, and these shops will be managed by them. If you want to rent these shops, you must hire the people of Sac City as employees. The more employees you hire, the less rent you have to pay. Not only that, Jiang Chen also plans to build Sac City into his own pharmaceutical base. He will build a pharmaceutical center in the valley, and all employees of the pharmaceutical center must be residents of Sac City. In the future, Jiang Chen will also relocate all pharmaceutical related companies in the scenic area to Sac City. As long as those pharmaceutical companies are willing to come to the development zone of Sac City, they can provide many employment opportunities for the people of Sac. Building companies is one aspect. In order to develop the Sac Twin Cities, Jiang Chen also plans to build a pharmaceutical university and a medical university next to the Twin Cities. By then, even if you are no longer able to work, you can always sell tea eggs in front of the university. There are so many job opportunities. Unless you are lazy and unwilling to work, you can definitely pay off the 300,000 yuan house payment in 10 years. Leader, there are many families whose children have died, leaving only lonely elderly people. They have no way to repay the loan, and many people of their age are also sick. Jiang Chen has already considered such people, so when Song Weeping brought it up, Jiang Chen was not worried. People like this can just live in peace and contentment. Take over their old houses and place them all in those 7-story houses around Twin Cities. The area there is not very large, just suitable for small families to live in. The small high-rise buildings built by Jiang Chen are different from those in other places. All of them have elevators. He prepared them specifically for those who have no children and are unable to work. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Song Weeping nodded. Indeed, this is Jiang Chen's biggest concession. All of you who are capable will live in villas. If you can't pay the house price within 10 years, your house price will be waived directly. If you are small and have no ability to earn money, then I will directly settle you in a smaller building. Okay, if the leader says so, I will definitely be able to do ideological work on them. I will take advantage of the arrival of winter to make them all move to their new homes. By the way, leader, what about the school you mentioned? Jiang Chen also specifically instructed Song Weeping to build a school. Young people must go to school. Now is an era of talents. If they don't have knowledge, they are destined to be abandoned by the world. I have built the school for you. There are 4 high schools, 12 junior high schools and 60 elementary schools in Twin City. In the future, it will not only be the students of Saccheng who will go to school here, but also the students of other people who come here to work. But what I promised you must count. In the future, all the universities of Sahara Group will give you targeted enrollment quotas. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Song Weeping scratched his head and said, I'm talking about the tuition and teacher fees. Now you say that you will hand over the Twin City to me for management, but you also know that there is no tax revenue in Twin City now. We don't have the money to let students go to school for free, and we don't have the money to pay teachers' salaries. This problem is easy to solve. If you want Twin City to truly prosper, you must attract more talents. I will announce to the outside world that other houses in Twin City will be sold to the outside world. All houses sold in Twin City will pay taxes to Twin City, and then you will naturally have money. Any super city is formed by people of different nationalities and skin colors, so is Saccheng. Leader, we may not be able to wait that long. If the houses sell slowly, it may take more than 10 years to sell them all. But our talent plan cannot be delayed for a moment. Chapter 565. The first batch of houses for sale. Song Weeping suspected that it would take more than 10 years to sell all of Jiang Chen's houses. Of course, he only said 10 years to save Jiang Chen's face. In his heart, it might take a lifetime to sell them. After all, how could anyone come to Twin Cities to buy houses in a place like Sac City where there is no one? You think too much. As long as my houses are sold, they will definitely be sold out in less than 2 years. By the way, the tax money earned from the stores and development zones I left here is enough to cover the expenses of your school. Remember, no matter whether it is the ethnic primary school or other primary schools, middle schools, and high schools, all tuition fees will be free. Listen carefully. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Song Weeping frowned. If all of these middle schools and primary schools were free, how much money would they have to pay every year in Twin Cities? Leader, I'm afraid we don't have. Don't worry, since I dare to say so, I will definitely make you penniless. By the way, you can borrow the initial money from Sahara Group in the name of the Twin Cities Management Committee and pay them back when you have money. Jiang Chen is ready. Human creativity is unlimited. When winter comes, Jiang Chen will directly start a live broadcast and then announce that the first batch of houses in Sahara scenic area will be officially sold to the public. In addition, all the storefronts in Sahara scenic area will also be rented out, and all pharmaceutical companies can also settle in the Sac City area. For pharmaceutical companies settled in the Sac City area, Jiang Chen will give them priority loans and 3 years of tax exemption. Yes, leader. Jiang Chen is their god, and Jiang Chen's words are unquestionable. After Song Weeping finished speaking, Jiang Chen thought about it and asked again, when will the old city be completely sorted out? After all the people move into the new city, the old city can be developed into a tourist attraction. The relocation will be completed in the spring. 1 month. I will only give you 1 month to move all the people to the new city. In addition, the old city will be sold to the Sahara Scenic Area Construction Group as a whole, and the money from the sale will be for your use. By the way, the Poppy Valley will also be sold to the Sahara Scenic Area Construction Management Group. These 2 fees are enough for you to carry out the initial management and construction. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Song Weeping nodded. It was true that their newly established Sac City government was indeed too short of money. Now everything had to be spent, but they had no fiscal revenue at all, and instead owed a huge sum of money to the Salmon Hospital. Okay, I guarantee that the task will be completed within 1 month. Song Weeping left the Twin Cities after he finished speaking, and then rushed to the old city. After arriving in the old city, Song Weeping brought all the newly relocated management personnel from all over the old city to the Twin Cities for a visit. When a group of people saw the exquisite small villas and 8 landmark high-rise buildings rising from the ground, they were all surprised. This kind of place that only existed in novels actually appeared in front of them, and from this moment on, all of this will be under their management. How could they not be surprised? After visiting the Twin Cities, Song Weeping told everyone what Jiang Chen had told him. When they heard that they could live in such a beautiful 3-story villa for only 300,000 yuan, and they could also enjoy such blue sky, white clouds and Greenland, they also became excited. That's great. It's really great. The cost of building such a house is more than 300,000 yuan. And look at such a good Greenland, such tall buildings, and such a wide road. Living here is simply a paradise in our minds. The task must be completed within a month. Okay, now I will start to divide the areas. Old Song, the people in your place, will be in this area, and Old Wang, the people in your place, will be settled in this area. Song Weeping began to divide the houses. There are more than 60,000 people and more than 20,000 households in Sac City. It only takes 20,000 houses, but now there are nearly 400,000 houses in the Twin Cities alone. So it was very simple to divide the houses, but what surprised Jiang Chen was that everyone did not choose the most convenient places in the city, but chose the most remote corner. After the houses were divided, everyone began to move in an orderly manner according to Song Weeping's arrangement. All the houses here are decorated, and they can move in with their bags. So the time for relocation was also unusually fast. After Song Weeping distributed the tasks, there were very few people in the entire old city who stood up to oppose. After all, there are new houses to live in. Who would want to live in a dilapidated rat hole? In the end, those who stood up to oppose had to accept the reality and move to the new city of Sac. The relocation was completed in just half a month. It must be said that this was simply a miracle. In half a month, 60,000 people were all moved to their new homes. After the relocation of the old city, at the beginning of winter, Jiang Chen asked the Sahara Scenic Area Management Group to take over the entire old city of Sac City. After taking over the old city of Sac City, Jiang Chen organized everyone to start building and maintaining the old city. When spring comes, the old city will be exhibited to the public together with the Poppy Valley. Let's not talk about the old city for now. With the arrival of winter, the livelihood of Sac City has become difficult again. Although the people of Sac City have moved into new houses, they have no jobs, they can't earn money, and they have no way to buy food. So life has entered the previous dead cycle again. Song Weeping saw no hope, so he came to Jiang Chen again. The weather became gradually colder in midwinter. In order to completely solve the problems of the people in Sac City, Jiang Chen decided to start a live broadcast and then announce to the world that the houses in Sac Twin Cities are for sale. The live broadcast was chosen on a clear morning. In winter, the network of Sac Twin Cities has been fully covered, and the electricity of Sac City has also been fully covered. In the early morning, a ray of sunshine sprinkled on the clean street. There were not many pedestrians on the street. Even the few people who walked by were wearing some shabby clothes. Hello everyone, I'm Jiang Chen who loves farming. Today I will bring you a one-day live broadcast. In the early morning of Sac City, the sun is so bright. When you look up, you will see a blue sky with white clouds floating in the sky. In the years when the desert attacked the world, such blue sky and white clouds are rarely seen. Feng Hui Zheng Mayo, the anchor has started live broadcasting again. What surprises will he bring us this time? Hachananiu, it's great that the sky is still so blue. It's spring here. Every day, it's foggy and full of sandstorms. I almost forgot what the blue sky looks like. Childhood dream. Yes, after the spring storm, there are sandstorms everywhere in our place. Last time, I saw someone live broadcasting the sunset in the scenic area. What a beautiful sky. Chapter 566, Desert Super City. When the world was covered by the desert, clear water and blue sky had already become luxuries. Today I will broadcast to you a new city that I built. Everyone who watches my live broadcast today will have a chance to live under the blue sky and white clouds. Jiang Chen's fans were excited soon after he finished speaking. You know, in this era, for the rich, money has already become something outside of their body. What they want is health, and any place that can give them health is the place they dream of. Eagle catches chicken. Host, do you mean that the houses in your new city are for sale? Big brother, that's awesome. Now if you want to live under the blue sky and white clouds, you can only go to the special zone. The housing prices in the special zone have risen to more than 40,000 yuan per square meter. Songbei, more than 40,000 yuan per square meter is also subject to purchase restrictions. Okay. If ordinary people don't have a household registration, they can't even buy it. Kung Fu Panda, as far as I know, all the houses in the special zone have now been subject to purchase restrictions, and the greening in the special zone is not good. There will be wind and sand in winter, and you can't see anything in the sky. Okay. Second Lizzie, the environment in the special zone is indeed not as good as that in the scenic area. The main reason is that there are too few green plants in the special zone. There are bare houses everywhere. It is unbearably hot in the summer and unbearably cold at night. A small house, just be satisfied. At least you can breathe fresh air in the special zone, which is better than our place. Meeting. My grandfather is in the sanatorium in the scenic area. Let us tell you that there is clear water and blue sky all year round. The last time I went to see my grandfather, the place was so beautiful. You can see the sunrise in the morning, the sunset in the evening, and the stars at night, but it's a bit expensive. My grandfather used his connections and found acquaintances in the sanatorium, and he still paid hundreds of thousands a day. Kung Fu football, hundreds of thousands a day. This is simply buying life with money. Fatty, isn't it? Why do rich people need so much money? Do you know? Nowadays, rich people like to live directly in the scenic area. They live in the scenic area and spend at least several thousand yuan a day. A group of people started chatting in Jiang Chen's live broadcast room, which was something Jiang Chen didn't want to see, so Jiang Chen quickly changed the subject. Okay, let's not talk about the scenic area first. Today I will take you to visit my newly built twin cities. In addition, I will tell you in advance that all the houses in Twin Cities will be sold to the public, and there is no limit on the household registration or the number of people. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of fans became excited again. You know, Jiang Chen's scenic area is different from the special zone. Jiang Chen's scenic area is full of priceless green grass, and although the special zone is close to the scenic area, there is no green grass in the special zone, and some plants in the scenic area are not in the special zone. Big brother, please walk slowly. Really? Does that mean that all of us can buy this Twin Cities? Clearly understand my heart. Can you tell me the location and price of the next city? After a group of people asked, Jiang Chen introduced it to everyone. Okay, then I'll give you a general introduction. Twin City is in the southernmost part of Sahara scenic area. It is a satellite city of Sahara scenic area. It is almost 100 miles from Twin City to Sahara scenic area. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he pointed his phone at the map. The location of Twin City on the map was very clear. It is 100 miles from here to the scenic area, and it is also more than 100 miles from here to the special zone. It is located in the triangle area between the scenic area and the special zone. Everyone looked at the location of Twin City and many people frowned. It has to be said that this place is a bit far from the special zone, and the location is indeed a bit off. Pang Da Hey, the location of this place is not as good as Sahara scenic area. Laoliu, what you said, the location of Sahara scenic area is good, but people don't sell it. We like to speak Mandarin. This place is so off the beaten track. Are the living facilities okay? Don't buy a house. There is no water when we get there, and when the winter storm comes, the house will be submerged by wind and sand, and it will be worthless at that time. Senior brother, I feel that the houses in this place should not be easy to sell, and the price may have to be cheaper than in the special zone. ZHUGOG, wait, isn't this the location of Al-Qaeda? Before talking about the price, let me take you to visit the Twin Cities first, Jiang Chen said, and drove directly from the Cactus Forest World. There is a very wide road from the Cactus Forest World to the Twin Cities. This road is called Line 3. As long as you take Line 3 from the Cactus World and pass the second gap of the Cali Mountain, you can directly reach the Twin Cities. The car was very fast on the super road. In less than half an hour, the car stopped next to a super hospital. This hospital covers a very large area, about the size of a small town. After arriving at the door of the hospital, Jiang Chen stopped the car on purpose. Everyone look here, this is a public hospital. Its name is Salman Hospital. This hospital costs nearly 10 billion, and it is currently the largest hospital in the Sahara. Little monkey, why is such a large hospital built in the desert? Bamboo flower, is this hospital for the scenic area in the Twin Cities? After a group of people asked, Jiang Chen nodded. Yes, this super hospital is for the Twin Cities and the Sahara scenic area future city. In the future, this hospital will be the gathering place for all patients in the entire city. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and after a brief live broadcast in the smoke with his mobile phone, he rushed to the Twin Cities. Leaving Salman Hospital, it took less than half an hour to drive forward to the Twin Cities. When approaching the Twin Cities, what came into view from afar was an oasis in the domed desert. In the oasis, under the clear sky, 8 super skyscrapers stood like pillars under the sky. The 8 buildings of more than 100 meters are the landmark buildings of the Twin Cities. Jiang Chen called them the Twin Cities Shopping Center. Everyone, please look, the Twin Cities are in front of us. The Twin Cities are the southern center of the Sahara group. This is a desert super city that integrates medical care, leisure, shopping, tourism and politics. Jiang Chen finished speaking and turned the camera to the city in the distance. When a group of fans saw the super skyscrapers under the sky, many of them were so excited that they didn't know what to say. Wonderful life. 6. My friend. There are no such high-rise buildings even in the special administrative region. Starry sky. Indeed, there are few such buildings in the entire northwest. The wind and sand are too strong now. Who dares to build such a high building? After some fans finished speaking, some people in the live broadcast room began to question. Architecture old cow, can such a high skyscraper be built on the edge of the desert? As far as I know, the wind in the desert can reach level 10 at its maximum. I'm afraid that such a high building cannot withstand such a strong wind at all. Downward building, that's right. Now even the tallest building in the special administrative region is no more than a dozen floors. Who approved you to build such a high building in the desert? Who designed it? Has it been tested by China? After a group of people finished speaking, Jiang Chen scratched his head. To be honest, he really hadn't thought about this question. But he didn't need to think about this question at all. Since his super system dared to give him seeds, it means that these 8 super buildings are fully capable of withstanding the superstorm. Okay. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 567, Special Materials again. Jiang Chen is very confident in his system. After all, these 8 buildings cost him nearly 10 billion. Don't worry, I can definitely guarantee the safety of such a tall building. In addition, I want to tell you that this building is built with special technology. It is not comparable to ordinary buildings. You will find it when you come to visit. Jiang Chen boasted about his building. Oh no, it can't be said to be boasting. These 8 buildings over 100 meters high are indeed built with special materials. They are not ordinary reinforced concrete buildings. Jiang Chen's buildings are made of a special material that is light and very strong. And the design of the building is also very unique. The building is like a screw that rotates upwards. It has a ventilation design. When the strong wind blows, the wind blows through the building and disperses the wind through the specially designed channels in the building, thus ensuring the stability of the building. Jiang, even if these houses can withstand the attack of desert storms, but if the houses are built so far away from the scenic area, will anyone really be willing to live here? Wonderful moment. When we look for a living environment, we not only need a beautiful environment, but also have very high requirements for other aspects. Anchor, can you take us to the Twin Cities first? There are many people who are preparing to buy houses, especially those rich people who have houses in almost all famous places across the country. And many people have also invested in real estate in the special zone. If Jiang Chen can impress them here, they will definitely buy a house here without hesitation. Speaking of going to the Twin Cities to take a look, Jiang Chen agreed very readily. Then I will take everyone to take a look. Let's go to Zichen first, Jiang Chen said, and drove everyone directly to the west city of the Twin Cities. After rushing to Zichen, there was not even a single person living in the entire west city. The streets of Zichen are very clean, with green grass planted on both sides of the streets, and there are some poplar and locust trees in the green grass. The branches and leaves of the locust trees have all fallen, and the grass has become withered and yellow, but the clean streets can still show that this city is different. This is West City. There are nearly 400,000 houses in West City. The houses are mainly divided into 3-story villas and 7-story high-rise buildings. I will take you to see them first, Jiang Chen said as he led everyone to see the villas and 7-story buildings he had planted. The area of the villas is not large. Jiang Chen built villas, mainly to cater to the super rich. The villas in East City are mainly allocated to the people of Sac City as their welfare. The periphery of the villas are all 7-story houses. These 7-story houses are all equipped with elevators, which is also what makes them different. After looking at the houses, Jiang Chen drove everyone to see the streets of Twin City. The streets of Twin City are very wide, and both sides of the street are all 7-story storefronts. Of course, the most distinctive feature of the entire Twin City is the 4 super high-rise buildings in the center of Twin City. These 4 high-rise buildings are currently the tallest buildings in the entire desert. The super high-rise buildings are located at the 4 corners of the cross street. The 1st to 4th floors of these high-rise buildings are all shopping centers, and above them are cinemas. Above the cinemas are super hotels and office buildings. After Jiang Chen led everyone to visit the Goodnight Super Shopping Mall, it was already noon. At noon, Jiang Chen's live broadcast room was already full of people. After all, this was Jiang Chen's first live broadcast to sell a house, so there were many people interested, and of course there were more people watching the fun. Okay, now I have led everyone to visit the entire Twin Cities. Now I want to tell you about the price of Twin Cities. I hope that friends who are interested can consult in advance. Also, if you buy a house now, you can pick a good location. If you buy it late, then it is possible that all the good locations are gone. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, people who sent bullet comments to consult quickly filled the entire screen. Pineapple, do these houses have property certificates? Bazahi, how much is it per square meter? Will there be a job there after buying a house? Golden Eagle class, are there any preferential measures for talent introduction? Looking at so many bullet comments, Jiang Chen responded to them one by one. Regarding the environment and housing of Twin Cities, Jiang Chen is very confident about his house. Although Twin Cities is far away from the special administrative region, it must be said that the construction of Twin Cities is very good. And the most important thing is that the Twin Cities can see blue sky and white clouds, enjoy clean air, and see the sunrise and sunset. For people living in smog and sandstorms, what else is there to be picky about? Let me first introduce the prices to you. These 2-story and 3-story villas are the most expensive. Because these villas are limited edition villas, they are a symbol of status and identity, so this kind of villa is 30,000 per square meter. Or 3-story villa like this has an area of about 400 square meters, and is priced at 12 million. The price of a 2-story villa is more expensive, priced at 40,000 per square meter, and a 2-story villa costs about 10 million. The cheapest is a 7-story small high-rise building, with an area of 70 to 200 square meters. Their price is slightly cheaper, and the price per square meter is 10,000 per square meter. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, his live broadcast room was soon filled with barrages. Leoniu, oh my god, this price is good. An ordinary small high-rise building with an elevator costs 10,000 per square meter, which is almost the same as the housing price in our county. Mouse, the price of the villa is not that high, but the area is too large. The overall price is too high. Dog from the star, I think I can afford a 100 square meter small high-rise. Host, can you tell us the price of each floor of this small high-rise? Kitten mommy, I want to ask if this place can be purchased with a loan. Sorry, we have not launched a loan business yet. All houses must be paid in cash. Regarding the issue of small high-rises, the price of each floor is different, but the highest difference between each floor is no more than 1,000 yuan. In addition, regarding the question of real estate certificates, I will tell you all here. We don't have a real estate certificate in this place, but we have a real estate certificate jointly issued by the Scenic Area Construction Group and the Twin City government. Dr. Crossing, the price of a small high-rise is not expensive, but the price of a villa is a bit expensive. Although the average price is very cheap, the area is too large and the finishing price is indeed very high. I would like to ask if there are other values for buying your house besides living. Easy vernacular. Yes, since we have bought a house, we must consider it more comprehensively. After all, it is a matter of millions. Leo Wang, after we buy the house, if we move there, what will we do about the children's schooling? Is there a school there? Also, are the prices there high? Chapter 568 Godlike Thinking. Buying a house is a big deal after all, even for rich people. Besides, no one wants to live in a city with high prices and low incomes. After all, we are not fools. Don't worry, since I dare to sell houses with the honor of my Sahara group, I will definitely consider everything. First of all, let's talk about schooling. At present, the schools in the Twin Cities are very reasonable. The schools have kindergartens, elementary schools, junior high schools and high schools. After high school, you can choose to apply for Grassland College, Sahara Tourism College, Sahara Transportation University and Mechanical University. At present, there are only these universities, each of which is a top university. Of course, we will also launch Sahara Pharmaceutical University and Sahara Medical University within a year. I can't guarantee anything else, but what I can guarantee is that all the universities launched by our Sahara group will employ first-class professors at home and abroad. In addition, we implement elite teaching. Everyone who comes to our Sahara group's universities to study is an elite at home and abroad. I don't think I need to repeat this. Uninhibited snail. Sahara schools are all good schools. There is no doubt about this. I would like to ask, most of your schools only offer undergraduate courses, so what should students do after completing undergraduate studies? After completing undergraduate studies, you can go to our major research institutes to study for graduate degrees, doctoral degrees, and postdoctoral degrees. Our scenic area has the world's most advanced plant research institute, power research institute, renewable energy research institute, and communications research institute, etc. Indeed, at present, several universities in Jiang Chen only offer undergraduate majors, and only the Mechanical University and the Transportation University offer graduate majors. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, everyone heard that the entire educational supporting facilities were so complete, and there was definitely nothing to worry about in terms of education. By the way, I would like to tell you that there will be specific quotas for universities in our scenic area. In the future, as long as you go to school in the Sahara group, your chances of being admitted to university will be much greater than if you were admitted to the scenic area in China. How to turn this disadvantage into an advantage? This is a question that Jiang Chen has to think about. Jiang Chen has been prepared for this. Since he is ready to focus on the development of the Twin Cities, he will definitely work hard in all aspects. Fengchu, as long as the children can study in the Twin Cities, won't their scores for the college entrance exams in the scenic area be much lower than in China? Laoda Buxio, is that even necessary? It must be easier to get in than in China. Think about how many points the candidates in Shangxin need to get into the universities in Shangjing, and how many points the candidates in Kaohsiung need to get into Kaohsiung College. Similarly, how many schools can the candidates in the Twin Cities be admitted to? It must be easier to get in than in China. I'm an honest man. If that's the case, buying a house in the desert for more than 10,000 yuan per square meter is just like immigrating for the children to take the college entrance exam. Then this 1,000 yuan per square meter is really too cheap. Banana, I want to ask, are the tuition fees in the Twin Cities expensive? Running Bison, yes, I also want to ask this question. The tuition fees of private schools and international schools in China are often hundreds of thousands per semester, which is really not affordable for ordinary people. Speaking of tuition fees, Jiang Chen smiled. Jiang Chen's main goal now is to sell all the nearly 700,000 houses in the Twin Cities. As long as he sells these houses, he will make a lot of money. Not only that, he can also revitalize the entire commercial street of Twin City, and at the same time, he can also pay a large amount of taxes to Twin City. With this money, he can solve the many debts that Twin City owes to Sahara Group, and at the same time, he can make the natives of Twin City truly wealthy. Therefore, Jiang Chen had already discussed the tuition fees with Song Weeping and Guan Cubic. Don't worry about the tuition fees. Twin City is the first central city built by our Shay Group. The education in Twin City is also our reform experimental zone. I hereby announce to everyone that Twin City will be free of charge from kindergarten to university. Not only that, I can also guarantee you that the kindergartens, elementary schools, junior high schools and high schools in Twin City are all equipped with the best teachers in the country. Our education model is also different from the domestic education model, and our admission model is also different from the domestic admission model. Regarding education, Jiang Chen collected the advice of many experts and decided to establish a unique education model for the Sahara district group. This education model is based on the standard of cultivating students' comprehensive abilities and taking into account the characteristics of students. Simply put, it is to cultivate students' hands-on ability in various abilities and reduce the proportion of their academic performance. Mayo Niu, is it really free? If school is free, how much money can this child save? Red brick green tile, it does save a lot of money. I feel that buying a house here is particularly cost-effective for investment in education alone. Xingxin's mother, may I ask what your transaction model is? How is it different from that in China? Let me tell you this, our education is more about teaching students how to be a good person. In the kindergarten stage, our main course is to teach children how to be polite and how to dress themselves. In the primary school stage, we teach more to let children know how to cherish a hard-earned good life, teach them how to get along with students better, and teach them some basic life skills. In junior high school and high school, they will learn a lot of comprehensive knowledge, and in college, they will learn professional knowledge that they are interested in. In general, Jiang Chen will cultivate children's hobbies based on their characteristics, rather than deciding everything based on scores. Jiang Chen, the people in the scenic area don't need those high scoring but low ability people, nor do they need those who, as long as I have good grades, I can't even dress myself and eat. Jin Can, what you said is indeed right, and this is how we should cultivate now. Students should first learn some safety knowledge, some life knowledge, and how to get along with others. This is what they need to learn most from school. Lao Feng, if they don't have a solid foundation in their early knowledge, what will they do when they go to college? A CD, I feel that, if this is the case, the children in the Twin Cities will definitely not be able to pass the exams as well as the children in China. After a group of people finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. I have already told you that our admission model is different from that in China. You don't need to pass them. In addition, let me tell you again, we only need to attend classes 4 days a day after elementary school, and they will have 1 day to participate in various community activities. In addition, they also have 4 days of study time in junior high school, and they have to spend more time participating in many extracurricular groups, as well as community or factory activities. Chapter 569. Looking at the stars in the sea. Jiang Chen students need to attend classes 6 days a day after high school. High school only lasts 2 years. In the 3rd year, they have to take a year off. During this year off, they can travel far away, intern in their favorite factories, or visit the universities they want to go to in advance. In short, during this year, they have to think about what they want to do in the future, because their decision will affect their whole life. After the end of the year, they will start applying for universities and majors, then provide their basic grades, and submit a copy of why they want to study this major. Then the next step is to wait for the university's admission. The reason why Jiang Chen did this is very simple. He needs to cultivate someone who really likes this major, not those who follow the crowd. Only if a person really likes his major, can he achieve something in this major. And in the future, he can continue to grow in this major, and eventually become a professional talent. Fenkite, what if they all go out to play this year, and don't think about it? What if they can't apply to any university in the end? Night Sky and Style, I'm also worried about this problem. Children nowadays have such poor self-control. Once you give them a holiday, they will do nothing but play with their mobile phones at home. After a group of people finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. Every child we train is a person who is good at thinking. If they don't even have this little self-control, what kind of university are they going to? In addition, all the universities in our scenic area are easy to enter and difficult to graduate. It is easy for you to pass the exam, but it is not so easy for you to graduate. For those who want to get a diploma and waste time here, then I can only tell you that you have come to the wrong place. Jiang Chen has set a task book for all his universities. That is, their universities will only be more rigorous than high school, and will definitely not be easier than high school. The world of honest people. If everyone can get into university, how will they find employment after graduation? Rain and rain. Yes, I also want to ask how to find employment. Look at how big the employment situation is in China now. Now a graduate student can't find a job, let alone an undergraduate. Speaking of graduates, Jiang Chen introduced them to everyone again. It is indeed not easy to do anything now. Jiang Chen's lips are almost worn out just to sell a house. Graduates, don't worry. All graduates will apply for the positions they want to go to according to their own wishes. Big Tiger, what if our children are stupid and can't go to college? Is it easy to find a job in your place? If you can't go to college, just transfer from junior high school to a technical school. Not everyone in this world is suitable for scientific research, and not everyone is suitable for being a leader. Most of us are ordinary people, and they will eventually struggle for a lifetime in ordinary work. And this ordinary job does not require people with particularly high IQs. Jiang Chen doesn't understand why so many people in China have to force their children to go to college, and it is obvious that many people are not suitable for going to college at all. For such a group of people, why don't they let them go to a technical school to learn a skill earlier? Maybe after studying in a technical school in China, it is still difficult to find a job after graduation. In addition to wasting time and money at home, they are wasting time and money. So many people are unwilling to go to technical schools, and technical schools have become a kind of chicken ribs. But the technical school established by Jiang Chen is not like this. There are many positions in the scenic area suitable for those who are not highly educated. For example, workers in ordinary workshops, ordinary people who plant flowers and plants and manage trees in scenic spots, and ordinary nurses. These are all skilled positions. For these, Jiang Chen has planned to establish a number of technical schools. For example, he has already established the Sahara Technical School, which is a place to train talents for automobile factories and machinery factories. As long as those who are interested in machinery and automobiles can choose to apply for technical schools directly after junior high school. After graduating from the technical school, you can enter these 2 factories according to the recommendation. In addition, Jiang Chen is also planning to establish a medical secondary technical school in Shuangzi City after selling the house and making money. This school is also a technical secondary school, and it mainly trains various processing workers needed by pharmaceutical factories. In addition, Shuangzi City has reserved a health school, which mainly trains nurses and caregivers for Shuangzi City and the entire Sahara group. There is no starry sky at night. Can people who graduate from technical schools find jobs? Even undergraduate graduates can't find jobs now, let alone technical school graduates. Don't be prejudiced against technical schools. Technical schools can teach real skills in all aspects. As long as they learn the skills, their salary is sometimes not less than those who go to college. And I can guarantee that anyone who graduates from our technical school will definitely find a suitable job in the scenic area. By the way, I will tell you that all performance awards are also free of tuition. Jiang Chen is very confident in his talent training system. He also hopes that through his reforms, he can make his scenic area have more talents who are good at thinking. After all, their future is more difficult than anyone else. If they can't look at the stars and the sea, then the Sahara scenic area will sooner or later be annexed by various powers. When it comes to Jiang Chen's free education system, it really attracts many people. And what attracts everyone more is that, as long as I study here with Jiang Chen, I will never worry about finding a job. Carp jumping Dragon Gate. Yes, this is indeed very attractive. It seems that, if you can buy a house in Twin Cities, it is indeed a very good investment. Breaking out of the future, if we buy a house in Twin Cities, will it be easy for us to find a job? We all love Mandarin. Yes, most of us need to work, of course, except for a few wealthy group bosses and local tyrants. Speaking of work, Jiang Chen became more confident. Tell me yourself, in a city with nothing, do you still worry about not having a job? The opportunities here are greater than anywhere else. As long as you are brave, you can open a cinema, a store, and various factories. In addition, for those who don't want to do business, you can work in the development zone. A number of factories will be stationed in the development zone, and the wages in the factory will definitely not be less than in the special zone. Mayoden, as long as we can solve the problem of work, then I will buy a house. Just for the sake of the children. By the way, I'm just an ordinary family. I want to buy a smaller house, and then I will do some small business in Twin Cities. Xiaoming loves to study. By the way, didn't you say that there are special discounts for talents? Is there any special discount method? President Ming, I'm going to build a factory in your place. I'm engaged in medical equipment. If I invest in your place, will there be any other discounts for buying a villa? The wife is willing to ask, are all people eligible to buy a house where you buy? Chapter 570, can you do whatever you want, just because you are good looking? There are many wealthy people in China now. Some people buy houses worth millions or tens of millions for school district housing. The house price here in Jiangchen is only 10,000 yuan. Needless to say, there will definitely be a lot of people who buy houses for several well-known universities. Therefore, many people are worried about the problem of purchase restrictions due to too many people buying houses. After all, China has a population of nearly 1 billion. If they just randomly come up with a small number, it will not be enough for the Twin Cities. Not everyone can buy a house. We will review those who apply for a house. We hope that the people of our Twin Cities are people who are capable of building and developing this city well. Of course, you also hope to live in a city with a group of excellent people. So we will review the applicant's academic qualifications, work and other aspects. Of course, if your children are smart enough, you can also bring your children and rely on your children's relationship to apply for our house. Jiang Chen still has very high requirements for the people who want to live in the Twin Cities. In the past, when Jiang Chen had no choice, his requirements were definitely not high, but now that he has a choice, why doesn't he set higher conditions? Fang Dengzi, the child is not smart, and we don't have high education, but can we invest in a factory and bring the child over? There are too many people in this world who have made their own fortunes from scratch, and they also want their children to have a bright future and receive a good education. Jiang Chen also has special care for such people. Of course, let me tell you about the preferential policies. First of all, we encourage more talents to come and buy houses, live and develop. For those masters, doctors, and postdoctors who have studied abroad in famous universities, if these talents come to the Twin Cities to buy houses, they will get a 50% discount on the purchase price. Those doctoral students and postdoctors who study in China will get a 40% discount on the purchase price. Talents with bachelor's degrees or above at home and abroad will get a 10% discount on the purchase price. In addition, there are also some people with senior professional titles who will get discounts. If you can prove that you are a national first-class chef, you will also get a 20% discount on the purchase price. In addition, for those who are preparing to invest in Sac City, as long as you invest in related industries in the Twin Cities development zone, or invest in the Twin Cities commercial street, we will lower your application standards according to your investment amount. By the way, if you can solve the employment of more than 2,000 people, then he will be eligible to buy a villa. People living in the villa area will enjoy the best aristocratic kindergartens, aristocratic elementary schools, aristocratic junior high schools and aristocratic high schools in the entire Twin Cities. In the Twin Cities, everything will be based on money and talent. And as long as you invest in Twin Cities, you will definitely enjoy super VIP treatment in Twin Cities. You will live in a villa in Twin Cities, your children will enjoy aristocratic education, and you will also enjoy a different blue sky and clear water. By the way, in Jiang Chen's plan, the villa in Twin Cities is not something you can buy just because you have money. After all, in this era, those super rich people are definitely willing to spend 10 million to buy a villa in Twin Cities in order to live a few more years. In the villa, they enjoy the blue sky and clear water brought to them by Jiang Chen every day, and breathe the fresh air provided by the Bermuda grass that Jiang Chen buys every day. However, if you don't come to invest to solve everyone's employment problems, what good things are you thinking? After Jiang Chen announced his preferential measures, his fans soon started discussing it. Dr. Fang, that's great. It just so happens that I'm about to graduate with a doctorate. I haven't settled down yet. I can go to Twin Cities to work and then buy a house there at half the price. From now on, my children can also live under the blue sky and white clouds. Jiangnan Sports. I'm getting old and my health is getting worse and worse. I used to work hard to make money, but now I'm trading money for my life. I won't say more. I will move my factory to Twin Cities. It's time for me to retire and enjoy life. With Advine, Old Tree and Dusk Crow, I'm a novelist. I graduated with a doctorate in China. I can't buy a 100 square meter house with a 40% discount. Feng Huijuxiang. Then let me ask, can people like us who don't have a high degree and no ability, but are good looking, come to your place? The cheapest house in Jiangchen scenic area is only 70 square meters and costs 700,000 yuan. 700,000 yuan is enough for a family with a better family background in a second or third tier city. But they can get the money together, but they can't pass the application. So some people who really want to come left messages one after another. ZHU Beiji carrying wife, what good things are you thinking? Can you do whatever you want with your appearance? Leo Dabuzaro, if you don't have talent, that's your ability. We are born without talent, but God gave us a good appearance, which is also our ability. You can live in Twin Cities. Why can we afford to buy a house, but we can't live there, because we don't have education? Zio, that's right. I also oppose it. Isn't it just 1 or 2 million? As long as our family sells our house, we can sell it directly for 3 million. Why can't we live there? Songyai, aren't all the anchors in tourist cities? I think people are good looking, which is also an advantage. Think about it, if there are a group of very beautiful and handsome people living in Twin Cities, then these people themselves are a kind of scenery. Flying wings. I think a new condition must be opened, and people who look good also have the right to apply to live in the scenic area. Think about it, by then, although the IQ of the people in the entire Twin Cities will be high, they will look like crooked melons and crack dates, which is not conducive to the genes of our offspring. Zio Tong Heo, hahaha, by then, all the people who are admitted to Sahara Tourism College will be from other places, and there will not be any locals. This is simply a great shame. A group of people started to clamor, and Jiang Chen thought about it, and it was true. If his external conditions are to require talent and intelligence, and these people generally have one characteristic, that is, ugly. If the streets of Twin Cities are full of bald and crooked people, it is indeed not beautiful, not to mention that it is a tourist city, so it must be comprehensive. Okay, since you have all made your request, then I will make your wish come true. Now I will add one more thing privately. As long as you can afford to buy a house, it doesn't matter if you don't have an education. As long as you are good looking, you can apply to live in the Twin Cities. In addition, I will tell you one last piece of good news. The residents of the Twin Cities will be the first real residents of the Sahara Group. Our Sahara Group has special preferential policies for its residents. In the future, you can enjoy 4 free tours a year when you go to the Sahara scenic area with your ID card. In addition, when it is not free, you can enjoy a 50% discount with your ID card. Of course, this is only a discount on tickets. You will get a 20% discount on accommodation and other aspects. Chapter 571. A talent doesn't ask where it came from. Jiang Chen offers many special benefits to his citizens. His main goal is to sell the houses in Twin Cities as soon as possible. At the same time, he quickly recruits people to come in, and then exchanges them for more new seeds. When the fans in Jiang Chen's live broadcast room heard that there were 4 free tickets for buying a house in Twin Cities, they were all excited. Leo Niu Bukai Ko, this house is really worth it. After buying the house, not only can the children go to school for free, but they can also travel for free. This is really a great benefit that I dare not even think about. Leo Wang catches chicken. When will your houses start selling? Let me ask again, if I get sick and hospitalized in the future, can I have medical insurance like in the special administrative regions? Houses can be purchased starting today. Those who want to buy a house need to submit an application online. You can log into the official website of Twin Cities Immigration, download the application form to register, and then provide proof of assets. As for the issue of medical insurance, don't worry. The first thing we have to solve in Twin Cities is the education problem, and the second is the medical insurance problem. We can ensure that every resident of Twin Cities can not only afford to see a doctor, but also get good medical treatment. As long as you immigrate here, everyone will participate in the Gemini resident medical insurance. With the Twin Cities medical insurance, when you go to Salman Hospital or Sahara Hospital for medical treatment, the reimbursement rate will definitely be much higher than in China. The planning and construction of Twin Cities are all on the scale of super cities. At least this city is a wealthy city, so residents will never suffer losses in terms of medical insurance. After introducing all this, Jiang Chen drove the car on the shopping street to show everyone the Supercross shopping street in Twin Cities. Not only did he have to sell all the houses today, he also had to rent out all these storefronts. Jingle Cat, may I ask if this cross street is also for selling out? Will the Twin Cities be positioned as a livable city or a tourist city in the future? A pair of cowboy shoes, yes. I would also like to ask what the positioning of the Twin Cities will be in the future, and how much are these stores per square meter? Jiang Chen's live broadcast attracted everyone's attention, and Jiang Chen knew it was time to introduce them to everyone. None of these stores are for sale, but you can rent them. Now you can rent these stores by applying on the official website. Starting today, the first batch of people who rent stores will have a discount on the price. In addition, regarding the positioning of the Twin Cities, our current positioning of the Twin Cities is a tourist city that is suitable for living and working. We have built 2 scenic spots in the Twin Cities. One is the Sac Old City scenic spot, and the other is the Poppy Valley scenic spot. Both scenic spots will be open in the spring, and then you can see what the houses where the pure desert people live look like. Of course, you can also go and see how bright the most charming flowers in the world are. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, when everyone heard that the Twin Cities were a tourist city, more people became interested. When a city is positioned as a tourist city, it will attract many tourists because of the development of tourism. And because of the arrival of tourists, selling things in the Twin Cities will definitely make money. In addition, if cinemas and shopping centers are built on the commercial streets of the Twin Cities, they will also have relatively rich income. So this has invisibly improved the competitiveness of the Twin Cities. Wonderful moment. Anchor, can we go to your place to visit first before writing an application? The old man was helpless. Yes, we also want to visit before writing an application. After all, once a decision is made, it is a lifelong thing, and this cannot be sloppy. A group of fans wanted to visit the game first, and then buy a house. Jiang Chen nodded in agreement. Buying a house is indeed a big deal, and it can't be done by just one of his live broadcasts. These people can come and buy his house immediately. Okay, you can come to see the house from now on. I will arrange a vehicle in the special zone to the Twin Cities. Then you can sit and visit directly. Jiang Chen's live broadcast did not end until the evening. After the evening came, Jiang Chen closed the live broadcast room and began to call Song Weeping and others to a meeting. The Twin Cities Management Committee has now been established in the east city of Twin Cities. Most of the Twin Cities Management Committee members are leaders of the Twin Cities Youth Army, but the management talents in various aspects are directly selected by Jiang Chen from the Sahara group. How is the construction of the Twin Cities Management Committee's official website going? Can applications be opened today? In the office of the Management Committee, Jiang Chen looked at Song Weeping and others and asked. Song Weeping didn't know much about the website, so he had to look helplessly at Zhu Shaoxun, the vice president of the Management Committee beside him. Zhu Shaoxun was originally the general manager of the Wooden House Town Scenic Area Management Group. Jiang Chen specially selected him to be the vice president of the management committee in Twin Cities in order to let him assist Song Weeping in building and managing Twin Cities. It can be opened by 10 o'clock tonight at the latest. We have entrusted the construction of the website to the Sahara Media Group. They have a very professional website construction team and a relatively professional website management team. The Twin Cities are now connected to the internet, but there is a shortage of talents in all aspects of Twin Cities. After all, the people who come from the old city of Twin City who can read are a minority, and there is no one who knows the internet. Even Song Weeping and others now spend a lot of time every day learning new knowledge, because he has seen that the difference between the people of their Sac City and other areas is really huge. If he doesn't study for a day, he will not be able to keep up. Very good, Leo Zhu. You will personally check it and select a group of people with the ability to screen to supervise the review of the application form. Be sure to ensure that everyone who passes the application of Twin City is a particularly outstanding person in all aspects. Don't worry, Brother Jiang, I will definitely check it myself. By the way, we need as many talents as possible, and those with doctoral degrees are given the highest priority, and those super rich people also give it the highest priority. We now have nearly 700,000 houses, and we only sell half of them. The other houses are regulated to allow Twin City to continue to develop and prevent people from taking the opportunity to speculate on houses. Jiang Chen's positioning for Saka Twin City is to build a city with a population of about 400,000. The remaining cities will be left to the people of Sac City, so that their descendants can buy houses and live in new houses. I will personally inspect it later. By the way, when they arrive, we should try to arrange some jobs for them. If our Saha group has suitable positions, we can also arrange for them to apply for them. If our Saha group has enterprises that can be relocated, we will try to relocate them to the Twin Cities Development Zone. Chapter 572, High-Tech Gadgets. Jiang Chen thought about all the ways he could think of to help the Twin Cities. Jiang Chen really took great pains to build the Twin Cities. The night passed quickly, and at noon the next day, the first group of people who came to see the houses had already filled 4 or 5 buses in the special zone. Most of these people who came to buy houses were planning to buy houses in the special zone. After comparison, they felt that the cost effectiveness of buying houses in the special zone was not as high as in the Twin Cities. Nowadays, the housing prices in the special zone are very expensive. The houses in the central area of the special zone have risen to 40,000 to 50,000 yuan per square meter. The houses in the remote suburbs around the special zone have also risen to 20,000 to 30,000 yuan per square meter. Moreover, the prices in the special zone are really ridiculously high now. Think about it, if a construction worker's salary has risen to more than 600 a day, can his other things be cheaper? In addition to the housing prices being 4 or 5 times higher than those in the Twin Cities, the special zone is indeed not as good as Sac City in other aspects. Sac City can solve their children's education problems. After all, education in Sac City is free, and the scores of children in Sac City for college entrance examinations in scenic areas are also very low. But the special zone is different. There are not many schools in the special zone, and there is only one university, the University of New South. The tuition fees of other primary and secondary schools are ridiculously expensive, and if you want to go to some good schools, you have to buy a school district house. Nowadays, the price of school district houses in the special zone has been hyped up to 70,000 or 80,000 yuan per square meter. In the words of some big businessmen, although the special zone is not as prosperous as Shanghai and Beijing, it has definitely caught up with them in terms of housing prices. When the first batch of more than 400 people who came to see the house arrived at the Twin City station, Jiang Chen specially took Song Weeping and Zhu Shaoxuan to receive them. After getting off the bus, the more than 400 home buyers saw 8 high-rise buildings in the desert from a distance. It really feels like they have suddenly arrived in a big city in the mainland. Those buildings are so tall. The tallest building in the special zone is only 10 stories high. It really looks taller and more grand than the special zone. High-rise buildings represent the prosperity of a place to a large extent. Especially in the desert, if you have the ability to build such a tall building, it proves that your technology and all aspects are very excellent. This place is really nice. The city looks very clean, and the layout of each house is also very exquisite. And everyone, you haven't seen that these are all new houses, the streets are clean, and the air is fresh. Jiang Chen led some tourists to visit the west city of the Twin Cities. A brand new city, a city full of wisdom and a city full of technology. No matter how you look at it, it is very attractive. Well, welcome to Twin Cities to look at houses. Let me first give you a brief introduction to our Twin Cities. Our Sac Twin Cities is a historic city. Sac City has a history of nearly 700 years. It is the largest city in eastern Turkestan. The quality of our new city's houses is beyond words. They are all made of new materials. In addition, the houses are made of the world's most advanced Sahara cement. I'm sure you are familiar with Sahara cement. What is Sahara cement? Ahem. Sahara cement. Just take a look at the road under your feet. This road is paved with Sahara cement. Even if it snows heavily in winter, there will be no snow on the road. In summer, no matter how hot the weather is, you touch the road surface, and it is slightly cool. Not only that, every blade of grass you see on the roadside is Bermuda grass. I don't need to say more about this kind of grass. In all the deserts, only I have this kind of grass seeds. This grass can release the freshest air. The air it releases helps people sleep. These are all things you can't enjoy with money. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, someone actually lay on the ground and touched the cement road of Twin City. It was already winter, and the air around was very cold, but the roads felt very warm. You know what? It feels like sleeping on a kang in the northeast. After a slightly fat man said this, the others followed suit and tried it. It was true that Jiang Chen was not lying to them. I want to ask, if we have to transfer our household registration to this place, if we buy a house now, will we not be able to go to China after signing the household registration? Twin City does not belong to China at all, and everyone knows this. This is also one of the reasons that prevent many people from coming here. They are afraid that, since this place is not under the jurisdiction of China, once they buy a house, if a war breaks out, they will lose everything. You can go back to China. I have discussed with the relevant leaders that our Twin Cities will issue passports that allow you to go back to China anytime and anywhere. I want to ask if there will be a war here in the future. Do you think it will? Probably not. After a group of people finished talking, Jiang Chen looked up at the blue sky. With such a blue sky, whoever dared to start a war here, Jiang Chen would definitely make them die in a rhythmic way. Jiang Chen led the home buying group to visit the school and then visited the shopping mall building. Looking at the shopping mall buildings that looked very futuristic, the home buying group was excited and submitted their applications on the spot. There were more than 400 people, and finally 340 people were reviewed. There were another 60 people who did not meet the requirements for buying a house. Considering that they were the first batch of people, they finally decided to let them pay a higher price to buy a house with an area of no less than 100 square meters and reluctantly accepted them. Almost all of the first batch of 400 people moved in, and after they moved in, they became the first batch of residents of the Twin Cities. After becoming the first batch of residents, they had to fulfill the citizen agreement to jointly build and develop the Twin Cities. So these people quickly joined the team to promote the Twin Cities. Jiang Chen also selected many people from the immigrants to help organize and lead other home-buying groups to visit. Not only that, Jiang Chen also called Ziyadong He, and in the future, my Sahara Story network will directly put up full-screen advertisements to promote immigrants in the SAC Twin Cities. In the evening, the first batch of 400 people had paid the house price and selected the house. When more than 50 million yuan of house price was handed over to the Twin Cities Housing Construction Management Committee, Song Weeping looked at the boxes of banknotes piled up like a small mountain, and he was dumbfounded. He never thought that such an expensive house would actually be bought. These people are really too rich, and those boxes of banknotes seem to be not money, and this group of people are still rushing to buy. Time passed quickly, and more than 10 days passed in a blink of an eye. Jiang Chen has been in the Twin Cities, running around for the Twin Cities. In the past half month, the number of people who applied to buy houses in the Twin Cities has exceeded 300,000. There are no less than 4 or 5,000 people coming to see the house every day, which really makes Jiang Chen and the entire Twin Cities Management Committee very busy. More than 300,000 applications are a headache for people to read every day. In the end, there is no other way. Jiang Chen has to let the entire Sahara group participate. So reading resumes every day seems to be a must for everyone in the Sahara group. On the 10th day, the population of Twin Cities that meets the regulations has reached 40,000. The first batch of investors in Twin Cities have applied for more than a dozen factories in the development zone. After the factory application was built, the Salmon people in Twin Cities finally had a place to work, and Jiang Chen was relieved. Looking at the population growing little by little, Jiang Chen was so happy in his heart. However, as the population increased, Jiang Chen's burden also increased. When the permanent population of Jiang Chen reached 50,000, Jiang Chen's mobile phone suddenly rang. Jiang Chen was a little surprised by the ringing of the phone, because Jiang Chen is too busy now and has no time to grow anything. But since the system has given him seeds, he must take a look, no matter how busy he is. Chapter 573, Being uneducated is terrible. In the evening, Jiang Chen walked alone on the streets of Twin City. Many shops on both sides of the street have been renovated and opened. The few shops were crowded with people. There were too many people coming to buy things. Jiang Chen walked to a cherry tree and stopped. There was a row of wooden chairs under the cherry tree. Jiang Chen just lay on the chair and opened his phone. System prompt. Players successfully recruited 5,000 residents and will receive a new seed. Please check it. What a scam. 5,000 people will give you a new seed. I already have nearly 50,000 residents now. Jiang Chen said and clicked on the seed. A seed that looked like a small carrot appeared in his seed grid. Jiang Chen frowned at this carrot. It was so hard to recruit 5,000 people, and you gave me a carrot seed. Carrots are so cheap now. What use is it for me? It's a headache. Jiang Chen said and clicked on Seed Introduction. Seed Introduction. Desert ginseng seeds. Desert ginseng seeds can grow ginseng with super high medical value in the desert. I'm going to get desert ginseng. System, you're so awesome. Why does this ginseng look a bit like a carrot? Jiang Chen now wants to build Twin City into a city centered on medicine, but there are not many things in Twin City that are truly medicinal. Now that the system has given him super ginseng, as long as he grows ginseng, he can legitimately call himself the capital of medicine. Let's take a look at the price first. Ginseng is definitely not cheap. Jiang Chen said this and clicked on Price Introduction. Price Introduction. Desert ginseng is a super ginseng certified by the Interstellar Alliance Pharmaceutical Company, and this ginseng is 5 yuan per plant. 5 yuan per plant. This price is really good. Since I lowered the prices of things in the scenic area, this system has also followed suit. Jiang Chen bought this kind of desert ginseng at 5 yuan per plant. After he grows the ginseng, it will definitely not be a problem to sell one ginseng for 500 yuan. After thinking about this, Jiang Chen prepared to build a desert ginseng planting base on the large open space in Sac City. When it comes to growing desert ginseng, the best way is to build a desert ginseng farm. Now that so many residents have come to his Twin Cities, it's time to find them a job. Twin Cities is not a place to grow ginseng, so Jiang Chen put away his phone and drove away from Twin Cities, and then headed towards the old city of Sac City. Today, all the land around the new city of Sac City is reserved by Jiang Chen. Because Jiang Chen has a hunch that the future Twin Cities will definitely not be as small as it is now. You must know that this is the era of the coming of the desert. The problem of desertification is not only a problem faced by China, but also a problem faced by the whole world. So once other places are submerged by the desert, the only way for the people there is to immigrate to a place where people can live. And there is no doubt that Jiang Chen's Twin Cities are the place to receive such immigrants. So Jiang Chen will reserve all the places around the Twin Cities, and Jiang Chen plans to build his ginseng base to the east of the old city. At this moment, the east of the old city is still a continuous yellow sand dune, and it would be a waste if it is not developed. When Jiang Chen arrived at the plantation, he was standing on a tall hill. The winter wind blew from the desert, and it was a little cold on people's bodies. Okay, here it is. Jiang Chen directly selected a piece of land of nearly 10,000 acres on a sand dune, and then planned that area as a ginseng base. After selecting the place, the next task is to flatten all these places. Ginseng needs to be planted on flat ground. Even if ginseng is planted on this kind of sand dune, it is not convenient for machinery to enter, because the sand dune is very high. At that time, it will be a problem to collect ginseng and transport it. Hey, Liu, you should transfer half of the bulldozers and excavators from the development zone first. Brother Jiang, where to transfer them? Fuck, I forgot where to go. Just go to the east of the old city of Sac. I have prepared a ginseng garden of more than 10,000 acres here. I will give you 1 week, and you must flatten this 10,000 acres of land for me. Planting in the desert is to be domineering. After all, the land in the desert is free. After receiving the order, Liu immediately pulled out half of the excavators and rushed to the ginseng plantation planned by Jiang Chen. Now Liu was appointed by Jiang Chen as the general manager of Sahara Construction Group. Sac City Construction Group is affiliated to the Twin Cities Construction Management Committee. Specifically, it is a state-owned enterprise. As the first state-owned enterprise in Sac City, Sac Construction Group is indeed making money. Now there are many companies that have come with Jiang Chen's house sales and investment, and they were all settled by Jiang Chen in the northwest of Sac City. There is a large area in the northwest of Twin Cities, west to Highway 3, and north to Canny Valley. This place is the planned Pharmaceutical Economic Development Zone. The Sac City Pharmaceutical Economic Development Zone is very large, and it is very close to Salmon Hospital and Twin Cities. This makes it convenient for people in Twin Cities to come to the development zone to work, and it also makes it convenient for employees of the development zone to go to Salmon Hospital for medical treatment. After Liu pulled out half of the excavators and bulldozers and rushed to the ginseng base, Jiang Chen pointed out the location of the ginseng base to him. After Liu led the workers to the ginseng base, Jiang Chen hadn't rested yet, and his phone rang again. System prompt. Congratulations to the player for recruiting 10,000 foreign population. The system will give the player a new seed. Please check it. Damn, how big is your delay? My population has exceeded 50,000. Okay. Jiang Chen said, and clicked on the seed column. At this moment, there was another mushroom-like seed in his seed cabinet. What is this thing? I want to build a medicinal material base, not a mushroom base, brother. Jiang Chen said, and then clicked on Seed Introduction. No matter what, these are seeds given to him by the system. These seeds are seeds that can live in the desert. As long as they are seeds, Jiang Chen will make money. Seed Introduction. Desert Ganoderma lucidum seed. Desert Ganoderma lucidum is one of the most expensive herbs in Chinese medicinal materials, and it has great medicinal effects. Oh my god, I wronged you again. It's really terrible to be uneducated. I actually mistook ginseng for carrots and Ganoderma lucidum for mushrooms. Don't ever mention that you are an honorary doctor of Peking University or Tsinghua University again. You can't afford to lose that person. Desert Ganoderma is fine. I want to build a medical base. You gave me ginseng and Ganoderma. You are the one who understands me the most, brother. Let's take a look at the price first. Now I have money in my pocket, so let's build it to our heart's content. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 574, Desert Herb Garden. Price reminder, Desert Ganoderma lucidum is 10 yuan per plant. 10 yuan per plant. When the Ganoderma lucidum grows up, it can be sold for hundreds, thousands or even tens of thousands. It's still profitable to grow this thing. Jiang Chen was very excited. He had to rely on tourism to make money when growing other things, but this thing was different. As long as this thing is grown, its economic benefits can be realized directly. This seed with the fastest effect is also Jiang Chen's favorite. Very good. Then open up another Ganoderma lucidum garden next to the ginseng base. The area of the Ganoderma lucidum garden should not be too large. Just 2,000 acres will be enough. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he asked Lao Liu to continue to expand the area of the herbal garden. The large area east of the old city was all transformed into a herbal garden. Winter passed little by little, and Lao Liu and others advanced very quickly. In addition, the sand dunes east of the old city were not high, so Lao Liu only took 10 days to push out all the land east of the old city. In 10 days, when Jiang Chen went to check, Lao Liu had pushed more than 50,000 acres of vacant land. After the herbal garden was completed, Jiang Chen directly wrote an IOU to Lao Liu, and then asked him to take the IOU to the herbal management company to collect the money. After all, brothers should settle accounts clearly, let alone the settlement between enterprises like them. More than 50,000 acres of land is enough for the Chinese herbal medicine garden, so after sending Lao Liu away, Jiang Chen took his mobile phone and started his first planting plan. That is to plant 10,000 acres of ginseng first. This ginseng is not easy to grow. It takes 20 to 21 months to germinate, and it can germinate after 8 to 9 months of germination treatment. Because ginseng seeds have two processes of embryonic after ripening and physiological after ripening, certain temperature and humidity conditions are required to complete this process. In addition, the autumn sowing time of ordinary ginseng is in late October, and the seedlings are transplanted after 2 to 4 years of growth. Generally, they are transplanted after 3 years, and the seeds are kept after 5 years of planting. Fortunately, Jiang Chen's ginseng is directly a ginseng seedling, which saves the treatment during the germination period. This kind of ginseng can only grow about 30 plants per square meter. This 10,000 mu of land can grow 190 million ginseng plants, which adds up to 999 million yuan. Jiang Chen calculated and sighed again. Sure enough, this looks cheap, but it is really expensive after planting more. Look at the cost of ginseng in this 10,000 mu of land. It is enough to build a super building. Although the cost is high, the money earned in the future will definitely be more considerable. It's just that these ginsengs need 7 or 8 years to mature, which is really a waste of time. But who cares? Even if it takes 10 years, even if he sells it for 100 yuan per piece, then the ginseng in this 10,000 mu can be sold for at least more than 10 billion. This money is almost catching up with several large companies. After Jiang Chen planted the ginseng seedlings quickly drilled out of the ground. At this moment, the little ginseng only has one leaf, and the green and lush green in the yellow sand is very cute. After planting the ginseng, Jiang Chen started to plant Ganoderma lucidum. The area of Lingxi is not very large, only more than 1,000 acres. However, the planting method of Lingxi is very special. It cannot be planted directly in the land. It needs to be planted on basswood. However, there is no basswood in Jiang Chen's place, so he plans to get all the waste wood in the old city to plant ginseng. Jiang Chen took out his mobile phone and called Song Weeping, and then asked Song Weeping to bring people to move the wood. Song Weeping brought more than 500 workers to process all the wood in the old city day and night according to regulations, and transported it to the Lingxi planting base. After fixing all the wood, Jiang Chen planted more than 1,000 acres of desert Lingxi on the wood. These desert Lingxi can grow in 1 year, and can be picked and sold. This is one of Jiang Chen's fastest crops. After Jiang Chen planted the desert Lingxi, time quickly went from the cold winter to spring. After the arrival of spring, Jiang Chen finally completed the entire ginseng base and Lingxi base. After planting Ganoderma and ginseng, Jiang Chen was just about to take a break when his phone rang again. After the phone rang, Jiang Chen did not dare to neglect it, and he quickly opened the phone. System prompt: the player's permanent population exceeded 20,000, and the player will get a new seed. Please pay attention to it. New seeds are here again. What seeds will I get this time? Jiang Chen said as he opened the new seed pavilion. He is not so afraid of not having money to buy seeds now, because at the end of this winter, all the scenic spots of Sahara group were once again overcrowded. Jiang Chen understood that, as long as he made a little discount and issued a pass, the number of tourists who came in one winter would almost equal the total number of tourists in the whole spring and summer. It was also this winter promotion that Jiang Chen directly received nearly 32 billion yuan. In addition to the dividends from several other companies of Sahara Group, Jiang Chen's disposable cash amount has now reached more than 45 billion yuan. Seed prompt: Desert Panax Natoginseng seeds. Panax Natoginseng has a good hemostatic effect. Desert Panax Natoginseng can be planted in deserts with very harsh climates. After sufficient sunlight, the effect of desert Panax Natoginseng will be more than 10 times better than other ordinary Panax Natoginseng. Oh my god, it's Panax Natoginseng. Panax Natoginseng is a very good analgesic and hemostatic drug. This thing must be planted more. Maybe it will be used in the future, especially when there is a war. The role of Panax Natoginseng is very great. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen directly clicked on Price Introduction. Price introduction. Panax Natoginseng seeds. 4 yuan per plant. The price is not bad. It's quite affordable. In this case, let's just plant 2,000 acres of Panax Natoginseng. Jiang Chen said as he planted 2,000 acres of Panax Natoginseng in his herbal medicine base. Soon after the Panax Natoginseng was planted, there was a ding-dong sound, and Jiang Chen's system gave him a new seed. This system will never stop until Jiang Chen's money is squeezed out. System prompt: congratulations to the host for obtaining the Coptis chinensis seeds. Jiang Chen just clicked on the Coptis chinensis seeds, and soon his mobile phone rang again. Sure enough, the system signal suddenly became smooth. He originally had more than 50,000 new people, and now all of them gave him seeds according to the population ratio. So Jiang Chen also obtained nearly 7 or 8 kinds of Chinese herbal medicines, such as Desert Coptis, Desert Polygonum multiflorum, Desert Mint, and Desert White Medicine. After obtaining these Chinese herbal medicines, Jiang Chen was not idle. He planted them all in the open space next to the desert ginseng. The Chinese herbal medicines in 50,000 acres of land were not enough in the end, so Jiang Chen called Laoliu again, and asked Laoliu to flatten nearly 50,000 acres of sand dunes. After the 50,000 acres of sand dunes were flattened, they were pushed directly to the border. When Jiang Chen planted all the other 50,000 acres of land with the Chinese herbal medicines he obtained from the system, after planting, Jiang Chen also came to the border of Teng County adjacent to the special zone. Today's Teng County is no longer the impoverished Teng County at the beginning. Because of the rise of the special zone, the once barren Teng County has also developed greatly. Chapter 575. The Age of the Sea is over. Nowadays, the development speed of the entire special zone is incredibly fast. The housing prices in the special zone are getting higher and higher, and more importantly, the land in the special zone is becoming scarce. So more and more people are turning to the counties under the special zone. And because this Teng County is very close to the special zone, it has also developed along with it. So now there are a lot of houses under construction in the main urban area of Teng County. And the area of the urban area has also increased by 5 or 6 times. Jiang Chen can see the towering crane in Teng County not far from the border from a distance. The location of this place is quite good. The current Yimo special zone is a special zone that China focuses on developing. If the previous era belonged to the era of the sea, all places close to the sea were golden cities. And the current era belongs to the era of the desert, and all places closest to the desert oasis are the new development poles. So this Teng County will surely develop along with it. It happens that Jiang Chen's place is so close to Teng County. If he plans well, he can also catch the express bus to Teng County. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen was ready to go to Leomar to talk. He wanted to talk to Leomar about the seamless connection between the twin cities and Teng County. But before discussing this matter, Jiang Chen had to rebuild Sac City. After all, if he develops well, Jiang Chen can occupy a dominant position in the connection between Teng County and Sac City. Let's get my Chinese herbal medicine base done first. Now Jiang Chen has a Chinese herbal medicine base covering an area of nearly 100,000 acres. Its Chinese herbal medicine base has become a place of the same scale as the Sac Twin Cities and the Sac Development Zone. Although the area of the Chinese herbal medicine base is now available, Jiang Chen still has a lot of things to do next. The first thing is to set up a management company, which will be responsible for managing the entire Chinese herbal medicine base. Jiang Chen thought about it and decided to set up the Sahara Pharmaceutical Group. Sahara Pharmaceutical Group will be the largest state-owned enterprise in the entire Sac City. For this reason, Jiang Chen also specially marked out a piece of land of nearly 1,000 acres in the north of the Chinese herbal medicine base. This land will be allocated to the Sahara Pharmaceutical Group for office use. After the decision, Jiang Chen began to get busy again. To build the pharmaceutical group, Jiang Chen must personally take part, because if he finds other people to build the house, it will be extremely slow. The land has been leveled. Let's plant the house first. Jiang Chen started to plant houses on the Chinese herbal medicine base. After he finished planting a 7-story office building that looked like a storefront, then Jiang Chen started to plan the roads. Fortunately, the pharmaceutical group is not very large and does not need so many roads, so it is enough to plant a few main roads to connect the office areas of the group. After planting the roads in the pharmaceutical group, Jiang Chen began to build roads in the Chinese herbal medicine base. He wanted to connect the Chinese herbal medicine base with the pharmaceutical group. The entire pharmaceutical group and the Chinese herbal medicine garden base are an oval, so let's just plant an outer ring road. Jiang Chen chose a plant as he spoke. It took a whole day to plant the road. In the evening, as the sun set, Jiang Chen stood on the wide road in the medicine garden and felt extremely comfortable. No, roads alone are not enough. We must also plant some houses in the herbal medicine garden. The Chinese herbal medicine base also needs people to manage it. Since they have to manage such a large base, they must have a place to live. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen built rows of 7-story buildings around the Chinese herbal medicine base as employee buildings for the medicine garden base. After planting the houses, Jiang Chen thought about it. How much money can he make just by selling raw materials? If he wants to make money, he has to process these raw materials himself and make them into medicines. So, in the night, Jiang Chen planted a large factory area at the easternmost part of the medicine base. These factories will be responsible for processing the Chinese herbal medicines in the medicine garden. After processing, they will be sold to all parts of the world through the pharmaceutical group. When Jiang Chen built the pharmaceutical factory, 3 days passed. The tail of winter passed, and it was spring. In spring, flowers bloomed, and because of the construction of Sahara Pharmaceutical Group, Jiang Chen's money was almost spent. The entire Chinese herbal medicine base, the headquarters of Sahara Pharmaceutical, and the processing and manufacturing factory of Sahara Pharmaceutical, Jiang Chen spent a total of nearly 20 billion. The investment in this pharmaceutical factory is really huge, but Jiang Chen has no regrets. Because once this pharmaceutical factory is built, it may become the largest pharmaceutical base in the Northwest. Okay, next I should go talk to Leomar. After leaving Sahara Pharmaceutical Group, Jiang Chen called Guanku and handed over Sahara Pharmaceutical Group to Guanku for management. After Guanku sent someone to take over Sahara Pharmaceutical, Jiang Chen drove towards Yomo Special Zone. When Jiang Chen arrived at the Special Zone, he was surprised by the changes in the Special Zone. Today's Special Zone is really changing every day. The original main urban area of the special zone was Mojiang New District and Yunnan New District, but now, the area of the special zone is more than 5 or 6 times larger than before. Apart from anything else, the original Mojiang Old County was a destroyed vacant lot, but only 1 year later, when Jiang Chen came to the Old County again, the Old County had already built a lot of high-rise buildings. The high-rise buildings in the Old County have been connected to the high-rise buildings in Mojiang New District, and the entire Laotian area is also full of houses. These houses extend all the way to Yunnan New District. Going east of Yunnan New District, the dilapidated old city of Yishi has also been demolished and rebuilt. When Jiang Chen saw Leomar was in a meeting. Jiang Chen did not disturb him. He just waited quietly outside the meeting room for more than an hour before Leomar finished the meeting. When Leomar came out of the meeting room, he saw Jiang Chen waiting for him at the door. He was also a little surprised. Leomar is very busy now, but Jiang Chen in his impression is even busier. Zhao Jiang, why are you here? Do you have something to ask me? As Leomar was talking, a group of people came out from his side, and the group of people nodded to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen knew most of these people. After all, they were all veteran cadres of the special zone. Mema, I have something to discuss with you. Do you have time now? There is another meeting at the unit. I will ask my secretary to cancel it later. Since you are here, let's have a good gathering. Jiang Chen looked up at the sky. It was already lunchtime, so he looked at Leomar and said, "It's my treat. I'll pay the bill this time. Let's go directly to the Wangxiangyuan restaurant." Nowadays, the most luxurious hotels in the entire special zone are all opened by Jiang Chen. Although the special zone has developed now, it still owes Jiang Chen a huge sum of money. This huge sum of money was owed when the special zone bought houses in Yunnan New District and Mojiang New District. So Leomar was very polite to Jiang Chen. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.